In 1923, a small group of motoring enthusiasts created a race to prove that cars could be reliable over the course of a day and a night of motoring. 101 years later, the 24 Hours of Le Mans remains the world's greatest test of motoring endurance. Hello everybody, welcome to Le Mans for 2024. We are an hour away from the start of the greatest race on the planet. This is not only the 24 Hours of Le Mans, it is also round 4 of 8 of the FIA World Endurance Championship. Our full season entries are all here, joined by more cars in the burgeoning hypercar class and in the new for 2024 LMGT3 category, and as well LMP2 makes its return. LMP2 has been a stalwart of the racing here at Le Mans, but no longer part of the World Championship. Well, this is a track that Peter Dunbreck and Rob Bell know well, and fans, of course, know this place well, but it's got an awful lot of potential for overtaking and for drama as well, Peter.
Yeah, it's an awesome circuit. I mean, there's so many different parts to it. I mean, this is a circuit where you're flat out for about 70% of the lap. And your top speed in a hypercar anyway is north of 200 miles an hour. That is one of the hardest braking zones into the Mulsanne corner. It's one you can easily get wrong. We saw a lot of cars having to go around the roundabout the wrong way round during qualifying because they outbrake themselves and then ran deep. Gradually there's more and more space available, but the Indianapolis S is another corner, especially in the exit, that you could lose a car and really hamper your progress in the race.
There are the teams all lined up. Just saw a little shot a couple of minutes ago of Norman Nato, Will Stevens and Callum Eilert, and 48 hours ago we did not think we might see those three drivers of the number 12 hypercar Porsche from Hertz Team Jota, because that car was crashed and required a brand new tub. Now, what that wasn't was a car that had already been raced. It was fully built up and just needed some different numbers put on it. It was an absolutely empty brand new car that needed a 3-week build in the workshop that was done in 48 hours in the pits garage. And here comes the tricolor, France's national flag, historically used to wave the flag, the field away, and it will be waved away by the great French football ace Zinedine Zidane.
Pilote, démarrez vos moteurs.
1 minute board on the grid. Under 1 minute to start the formation lap for the 92nd edition of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You may now start your engines. Everyone, please clear the grid immediately. Please clear the grid immediately.
Engines started for the 2024 Le Mans 24 Hours. We're a minute away from rolling off the grid, and overhead the Patrouille de France, France's Air Force national display team as ever, smoking red, white and blue, the French national colours, as they fly over the heart of this area just to the north of the Loire Valley and just to the south of the city of Le Mans. We are ready to roll away. The leading car will take them around, one of a number of safety vehicles being used this weekend. Unlike any other race, we have 3 different safety cars, one always on standby in the pit lane, one on the Mulsanne straight at the exit of the first chicane, and the third one about 2/3 of the way around the lap at Arnage.
This is going to be an epic start to an epic race, Martin Haven.
Let's go. Into the Porsche curves. They leave the public road and come into...
All hypercars to grid formation. All hypercars to grid formation.
The hairs on the back of your neck are not standing up. Consult a doctor immediately. We are about to go racing here in Le Mans. 24 hours on the clock. We will race until 4 p.m. Sunday, as for a century the world's greatest endurance motor race once more gets underway here in the centre of France. 2 by 2 they will come. Porsche and Cadillac on an all-American front row. The Ferraris behind. Zinedine Zidane waves the tricolor. We wait for the lights to change, and they will storm along the straight and sweep right into the Porsche curves. Immediately Lawrence Vanthoor shuts the door on Sebastian Bourdais. Ferrari side by side in second. Very slow start from the number 12 Hertz Team Jota Porsche, and a Ferrari up to second place ahead of the Cadillac of Sebastian Bourdais, and that is car number 51, Antonio Giovinazzi. No, it is the 50 car of Niklas Nielsen. Very slow getaway from the number 12 car, but riding on board with Giovinazzi. He's in fourth place. Sebastian Bourdais in third with the yellow-nosed Cadillac. Fifth place, sixth place is the blue-nosed Cadillac. BMW behind, and Alpine and Hertz Team Jota squabbling in the midfield in our burgeoning 32-car hypercar class, 23-car hypercar class.
The Proton getting very close as well to Nico Müller, who we ride on board with now on the exit of Tetra Rouge, and the Jota in front. I think one of the Jotas I saw cut the corner around turn 3.
Well, there are the two gold Jota cars side by side, or nose to tail, 12 ahead of 38. There's the better of the two Toyotas. Number 8 moving up the order, and that is a change for 8th and 9th place. There's the Proton car, white with the green highlights. The red, white and blue is Isotta Fraschini. Great start from Jean-Carl Vernet. He's picked off 3 cars already. Vernet with the bit between his teeth on board with Pipo Derani, the third caddy, the wheel and engineering car, and there's the number 7 Toyota. Coming from behind, there's the Peugeot on the dirt down to the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. The first of the Lamborghinis is currently the green car in 11th place.
Yeah, so the Jota managed to hold on to that position as he was under attack from the 311 Villon-sponsored Cadillac. And he's having another go here. They're side by side once again down towards the Mulsanne corner, and the Porsche is getting involved as well. Number
35 Alpine, the driver complaining he can't see through the screen, but there's more changes. Cadillac ahead and Hertz Team Jota. Proton Porsche going around the outside. Number 4 Penske Porsche also trying to go through. Don't forget, that's the number 12 car. Will Stevens starting it. It has been built from a brand new shell over the last day and a half.
Great move around the outside, wasn't it, from Neil Janney? Very well planned, well executed, and you see the two of them side by side here. Car 50 gets into the lead into Indianapolis.
Cadillac and BMW side by side down to Indianapolis. The 15 BMW stays in front of the blue-nosed number 2 Cadillac. That is the battle for 6th place, and a great charge for the lead. There's the 15 car moving up the order. The 28 car Art car is down towards the tail of the field, and 2 yellow-nosed cars. The yellow-nosed Cadillac is number 3. There's the onboard view from number 2, so somebody else is losing a lot of oil, because the number 2 caddy is in 7th place with Alex Lynn at the wheel.
Yeah, surprised to see the screen so dirty so early on, the first lap of the race. It's something you'd imagine at the end of the first stint or something, but yeah, that Team Jota car seems to be falling back just a little bit, doesn't it, at the moment?
Number 35 is the other car with a really dirty screen, and that car is a long way further back, so it's not the same car that's chucking out oil. Everything will have been really filled with oil, so some of them perhaps losing a little bit more. But at the end of the first lap, it is Niklas Nielsen in the number 50 Ferrari that leads the race from the pole-sitting number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963 as they stream past the pits for the first time. And Anthony, despite the cold tyres and the fairly slow warm-up lap, actually not many major dramas on lap 1. It's Ferrari Porsche, Ferrari Cadillac, Ferrari BMW. We've run out of Ferraris now in the top 6. Here's the battle for second. Ferrari 51 trying to go up into second place. Antonio Giovinazzi does it.
Let's move forward with brake balance. You can move forward with brake balance. 0.5%.
Top speeds on the straight, 337 kilometers an hour from the Alpine of Charles Milesi is about the fastest I can see on the last lap. That's a pretty decent pace from that Alpine. Back with Manthey Pure Racing, that white Porsche in LMGT3, that is our championship leader. They've had a really strong season so far, and that's Alex Malikin defending 3rd place. Right behind him, Alex Riberas, 27 Harter Racing, the blue Aston, then Marco Sorensen in the D-Station Aston. So for the new Alpine, that's a really strong performance.
That was a great bit of racing.
BMW 15 in the barriers. Marco Wittmann put the car off the road early in the race in Imola.
So yeah, this is the right-hander before Tetra Rouge. How has this happened? As he tries to spin turn the car around, he gets it going again. Now, how much damage, if at all, has that done?
734 overtakes so far in this race, and we've had, what, 33 minutes. Well, the two Ferraris are together.
Yep, nose to tail. Nick Nielsen leads Antonio Giovinazzi. And this is very telling stuff. And the deal here, Anthony Davidson, is you can't stop your cars battling, because if you blunt the speed of one and lose by 30 seconds in 24 hours, then you're going to feel pretty stupid. The cars that will go furthest on a tank of fuel are these, the LMGT3s. We're on board with Ben Barker in the Mustang, big American V8 at the front, and of course a very different V8, a very different layout in the McLaren, with the engine behind the driver's ears. Freddie Schandorf and Ben Barker. This is the battle for the lead in LMGT3.
Could there be two more different sports cars around? It's a turbo V8 rear, it's a mid-rear engined McLaren against a big front, normally Aston V8 in the Mustang.
Yes, I'm staying in the car, yeah.
Yeah, we do fuel and go, set.
Ferrari both due to come in this lap. 5%'s not going to get you round, but the Alpine 35 is 11% enough for an extra lap. It might be.
I think it is.
Have we got a different strategy? A hare and a tortoise in Alpine. Both hares, though, pretty quick.
Well, both a hare and a tortoise. He's managed to get the 11% and still stay in touch with this pack. It's been a cracking run from Charles Malaysia.
That's your LMGT3 lead. The Inception McLaren and the Proton Mustang, they go out together.
Looked like the Mustang had slightly more speed in the pit lane. Vantor is really pushing on there. I think you just spotted the same thing I did, Martin, through the as they come in, peel off into the pit lane. Now all of them there, all of the hypercars, all on that same strategy of around 12 laps. That's what we were expecting. Yep. The two Ferraris get very close there.
Close.
But Vantor, I think you spotted me in karting, the final corner of the Porsche curves, losing the rear end momentarily there, pushing on to try and do exactly this to close the gap before pit lane entry.
If I was reading that graphic correctly, by the way, I think there's been a delay in getting the, there you go, getting the, yes, there's been a change here because there's a Porsche ahead. That's one of the Ferraris.
Well, that's also going to look like an unsafe release, I think.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll keep an eye on that and let the stewards decide. It certainly looked like it to me. But as you were saying, Graham, watch the energy going into the cars. I noticed that the number 51 Ferrari took quite a long time for it to start. That was close, wasn't it?
Change for the lead in LMP3. Number 9 Proton competition car of Bent Fiscal. That's yellow and black. The Iron Lynx Proton competition car. In second place, Panis Racing, Matthias Besch, Ollie Jarvis up to third for United Autosports. As ever, United so quick in the pits.
Nothing but trouble.
And there's the other United car.
Trouble for that car. I'll correct myself. The 10 seconds longer was the penalty for the 51 and the 83.
Ah, correct.
For offences earlier this weekend.
That's the Ben Keating car, number 23 from United, and that is Ben Keating at the wheel. Extremely experienced competitor here at Le Mans. This is his 10th start in his 9th different car, and he is an LMP3 champion in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series, so he knows these cars too. This could be Ben Keating's shortest ever stint in World Endurance and shortest ever race. If he can't start the car, they're going to have to take it behind the barriers, and that will be likely the end of the race, Graham. And behind Sebastian Bourdais, closing in from behind, is another Sebastian Buemi. Meanwhile, here's the battle for the lead. Niklas Nielsen steams by Lawrence Vantor. That's not a performance advantage, that's getting the run out of the second chicane. And right behind them is the Cadillac. Sebastian Bourdais, the yellow nose, is right underneath the splitter almost.
Information to the pit lane, information to pit lane. Car 50 has 10 seconds added to the next pit stop for an unsafe release. Car 50 has 10 seconds added to the next pit stop for an unsafe release.
now, look at this, you've got the 51 ahead of Sebastian Buemi, and I think, again, that was because of the traffic. The Alpine's in there as well.
Great run so far from this Alpine. Meantime, on it goes.
Buemi's on a mission, isn't he? He's caught right up again under braking then for the second of the chicanes. This is lap number 18. And bear in mind, the first round of pit stops came on lap 10 and then lap 11. We're not that far away from another round, in theory. You get on board with Rahul Frey in the Iron Dames Lamborghini up to try to get past the Spirit of Racing Aston, and does so on the inside. Good past that going into the chicane.
For me at this stage, 3 factory teams that have got good reasons. We've watched the LMP2 pit stops underway. Good reason to be pleased with where they are on pace. Ferrari is clearly one of them. The other two rather, Cadillac, those cars have been pacey. And for me, the surprise package so far, the 2024 Le Mans 24 Hours, without a shadow of doubt, is Alpine. Both of the Alpine cars in the top 8, 6th and 8th at the moment. Charles Milesi, I don't think has been out the top 6.
You're riding with Kubica then, speed building.
Yeah, heading down towards the second chicane. The straight line speed, though, on the Alpine looks sufficient to hold off the Ferrari. And, yeah, Milesi has just got to get his head back together there.
Into the pit lane, McLaren 70 that started on LMGT3 pole position. Frederick Schandorf brought it in the lead of the class, as he had been at the head virtually from the get-go. Really good stint.
In comes
the
number 50 car.
Nielsen in, so is he going to serve that penalty now in this pit stop? I should imagine he will.
It's 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
So he's going to lose the lead.
Yes.
And second at least, and possibly third as well. It's going to be fascinating to see not only where this drops the car, but in relation to when the others pit as well, whether anybody else comes in on the same lap that they're not doing.
Well, Bourdais was 10.2 seconds behind him.
By the way, the Mustang has got out ahead of the McLaren.
Okay.
Onto the fast lane as we now look back at Sebastian Bourdais with Charles Milesi behind him, who has actually gapped Robert Kubica, hasn't he?
You're right.
He's got genuine pace here.
Yeah, the Alpines are a sort of sleeping giant, underdog, call them what you will. They've got good pace without necessarily drawing much attention to themselves.
In the pits now, the Isotta Fraschini. And here's the shock news. The Isotta Fraschini has not been running last at any point this race.
Right, this is Robert Kubica that you are riding with, and he owes us a pit stop. He's up into 6th place at the moment in the AF Corsa Ferrari. Yellow as opposed to red, threading his way through the Porsche curves. Fantastic section of the circuit, this. Just had a quick look at number 50 Ferrari. That's the car of Nicholas Nielsen. The team manager of that Ferrari has just been summoned to race control immediately. So they've already had a penalty for an unsafe release. Now the team manager to race control.
I'm not sure it's good to be cleaning. The car is undrivable for two laps.
Copy. Don't be afraid on the bars. You can go to front 4, rear 1. Don't be afraid on the bars for the first couple laps, but understood.
Let's push on that Toyota. They are struggling a lot with balance.
Nothing is sacred, nothing is secret, is it? Sebastian Buemi tells his engineer something, we all hear it, and that's passed back to the Ferrari driver. The track is now declared wet. Rain lights on low mode comes the instruction. There's a leading Ferrari going through. Antonio Giovinazzi, 7.5 seconds up the road from Buemi, and Nielsen is getting fractionally nearer on this 27th lap of the race.
The Alpine looking quite racy behind as well. Are they slightly closing too?
Yeah, Charles Milesi's been a bit of a hero thus far, and he might benefit, mightn't he, if these two start squabbling amongst themselves. Look back from the Toyota, that Ferrari is getting closer and closer. Milesi's had a track limit warning though, Rob, hasn't he?
The rain should finish in less than 10 minutes. The rain should finish in less than 10 minutes. So we go through it.
Copy.
Okay, so the rain to finish in 10 minutes. Not entirely sure it started, are we?
So, yeah, I guess if it does come, it's going to be a very short shower, and perhaps it's a situation where you stay on slicks.
Let's have a look. The team is ready, and wet stand by, Peter, don't they?
They are, of course. So we've got a split strategy between Ferrari and Toyota. One thinks it's going to be wet, and the other one thinks it's going to dry up quickly and just stay on the slick.
So that's the first car onto wet. Also in is Charles Milesi, and also in Sebastian Bourdais. from what we're being told from Ferrari, within 10 minutes, the road will be dry again, or it'll have stopped.
And plus there'll be areas of the track which remain dry.
Absolutely.
So that's going to burn up those wet tyres.
You're going to just kill them. So this is going to be a test for the drivers of sort of maturity, experience, etc.
Talking of maturity and experience, Bourdais and Malaysia are under investigation for their pit lane behaviour at 17:28. Let's see who bails for the pits this time. Porter in the background went for the pit lane, and up the curb goes Kubica. Andre Lotterer, with all of his Le Mans experience, then bearing down on Kubica. He threads his way out of the Ford chicane. In has come 51, then the leader is in, Antonio Giovinazzi.
But it has actually just stopped raining here, so...
Yes, well, it eased, I think. There are still umbrellas up. But side by side here goes Ferrari and Porsche. To the inside line, look, goes Lotterer. Is he going to go through? He does. He makes the move. He goes by. So Andre Lotterer now takes over the lead of the race, puts himself ahead of Nicholas Nielsen. Robert Kubica is there in third. So Porsche leads Le Mans. Ferrari second and third. And not only has Lotterer got the lead, he's pulled away, hasn't he? That car took on new softs on the last pit stop. So it's a slick shot Porsche in the lead of the race, and he's using those as best he can where he's got the traction. Change for second. Kubica moves himself up past Nielsen as well now.
It's gonna stop at the next lap, mate. It's gonna stop at the next lap.
Okay, so we stay out. What tires are the 83 on?
So into the pit lane comes Lotterer, presumably because he wants wets, at the same point that Nielsen is being told he's going to stop in the next lap or two.
Again, strict split strategy, so let's see how this plays out.
He's the race leader, Kubica, by dint of staying out, because of course Lotterer did lead and pitted, and he won't be leader for much longer because Nielsen is all over him like a cheap suit as they come down to the braking zone for the first chicane. Kubica just ahead, but Nicholas Nielsen right there behind him as they thread their way right and left and right again. We've also got Sebastian Buemi lapping quicker than anybody else ahead of him at the moment. Buemi, who went on to wet, didn't he, in Toyota number 8, 7th place. Corvette in strife. It has got going from Mulsanne corner and stopped on the run on towards Indianapolis. So the Corvette stranded, yellow flag is shown. The driver will try to get that car going, and he does so. And also off the road is the 54 Ferrari then, that's the Vista AF Corsa car. But that Ferrari in the gravel might take a little bit more extraction. 77 there, currently 4th in LMGT3. Ryan Hardwick chasing after Rahal Frey, who in turn is going after Christopher Mies. And it is Larry Ten Voorde for JMW Motorsport leading LMGT3 right now. It's all getting busy. That Ferrari in theory ought to be able to fire up and drive off, shouldn't it? Because it's virtually on the access road.
Yeah, he should be. He should be, you know, as long as there's no damage, which we're just looking at.
There's going to be, because it was a bit of hip and shoulder that turned him around, the Orica to the inside.
I don't think that's going to be much damage, though. I think that's a question of actually probably just gathering himself together and working out which buttons to press.
OK, so Thomas Floor will try to get going. Side by side for the race lead. Nicholas Nielsen has got the run, but he's on the outside line down to Mulsanne corner. Robert Kubica hangs on to it as they go into the kink before the corner, but you've got to be so careful here, Peter, because there are still wet patches around.
Nicholas Nielsen's got the cut back on him here.
So they run side by side, and there is traffic ahead. Who has got the most leaden right foot? Let's see. Nielsen's got the line on the inside. Kubica tries to stand his ground on the outside. They are absolutely toe-to-toe as they come towards us. The two Ferraris with the Porsche many laps down behind them. Nielsen's going to have the inside line for the next corner, the run up towards Indianapolis. But Robert Kubica is going to go and keep the lead round the outside. Fantastic racing between the two of them. And Robert Kubica, very brave indeed. He comes out in front. Fabulous racing. And look at the pace that Neil Jani has got behind. I know he's many laps down now, 3 laps down, but he's showing kind of what that car's capable of. Nielsen's going to have another go. Kubica with his pointy elbows sticks them out and says, no, you don't. And so yellow Ferrari Kubica, red Ferrari Nielsen, absolutely tied together. And this is fantastic racing, isn't it? 2-star drivers at the top of their game.
He's going to get trouble here. I think he's getting by, so get ready.
That was brave because he had to use the curb on the inside. Nicholas Nielsen goes through. He's halved the gap already, hasn't he? Thanks to the back marker. And he gets the run now. Further up the road, there is this battle in LMGT3, and it's for second. Christopher Mies versus Rahal Frey. Mustang versus Lamborghini. And a drive-through penalty is being given to Thomas Floor for causing that collision as the lead has changed. Through goes Nielsen.
we are losing too much time with the rain, with the wet tires. We are going to box for soft.
Now for second place in LMGT3, and this demonstrates how well the GT3 concept works. Two totally different ways of attacking the LMGT3 problem, if you like. The grab-and-go Mustang, the rather more aero-friendly Lamborghini, and they've got hypercars threading their way through the mix as well. And that is a very badly damaged car up at turn 3. Is that 54 Ferrari again, the Thomas Floor Ferrari?
I wonder whether we're going to see a safety car here.
It's all self-induced, isn't it, guys?
Kind of looks like it. Is he on his outlap?
No, he's not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, actually, but I guess...
spin that way, yeah.
Could that be a legacy of the earlier damage?
Well, I'm thinking it's a legacy of the kink to the right, and he's lost it on the exit of the kink to the right.
I was just wondering whether, after that earlier clash with Naveen Rao, that's done some damage that...
Possibly.
Right, in comes Robert Kubica, and he's going to give way, isn't he, to Robert Schwarzman. I think we'd seen him standing. And there, off the road, is that Frins in the BMW? That's coming into the Ford chicane.
I think that is a BMW.
It's the art car, isn't it?
The art car, yeah.
So Robin Frins, who we've just been talking about, chasing after Kamui Kobayashi, that would need to pit, certainly, but it will have to do a whole lap from there to get into the pits, which would be more time lost. It's just a curb strike, isn't it, that's pitched him off?
Snap back on him. I think, you know, from what I've seen during testing and qualifying, the BMW is a very fast car, but it just looks edgy.
You can see the damage, but he's got to do a whole lap to bring that round. It looks like the suspension's damaged.
Yeah, I think that's more damage than it potentially first looked. It looked like that rear right was pointing in a different direction.
You're absolutely right.
In fact, that's likely to shred itself, that tyre.
Well, the team will be looking at this. Adam Hardy will be on the radio saying, just go slow, Robin, bring it back.
It doesn't look like he's going slow.
No, and he's lifting the wheel as all the weight transfers. This is going to be a wild ride on the way in, isn't it? BMW receives Robin Frins. Right, how slow a lap was that? Just under 7 minutes. By the way, that 54 Ferrari, our first retirement of the race, so the marker of doom can be used, and it's a Ferrari out of LMGT3 that we say goodbye to after, 2 hours 39 minutes. It's declared a retirement after that impact. Battle on here in LMP2 as well, which is being led at the moment by number 10, Ryan Cullen, from Clement Novalak, and Novalak, I think, ready to make a move here as the two of them go side by side. Ryan Cullen in the white car, Clement Novalak in the lemon and lime colours, the green and yellow. Nose in front as they come down towards the chicane. Clement Novalak, former British Formula 3 champion, goes through. Good pass, that.
Yep, pretty standard stuff. Get a good run, get the toe, and you had the inside line for first chicane at Mulsanne. So good clean stuff, good racing, standard stuff. He can now get his head down, don't worry about the car behind, and keep pushing on.
I thought for a moment Jack Aitken's windscreen was starting to look damp. I think it's just the rubbish that's been thrown onto it thus far, but we are aware that there are spots of rain coming at various places, but it's not amounting to anything yet. And again, to tease the teams, the sun's come out.
Yeah, it's showing on the heli telecam, but nothing actually on Jack's.
Awesome job, buddy. Well done. Next one is your sister, Earl Bamber. About 4 seconds ahead. Go get him, bud. Nicely done. Keep digging.
I think we need a Peter Barron podcast, though. We just thought him on his own. He's great value, and you can understand why the drivers want somebody like that.
Just point out, for those who are new to the sport, Earl Bamber is not literally Jack Aitken's sister. They are not related in any way.
As far as we know.
No. Yes.
The sister car is what is the message. But now we're going to go for a full course yellow, we understand. Full course yellow comes. Wow. So that's our first full course yellow of the race. And for why is that?
In the pits from 4th place is Nick Tandy in the number 4 Porsche Penske. Oliver Rasmussen from Hertz Team Jota follows him in. Puncture left front of the number 34 Inter Europol car from 3rd place. Clement Novalak pits. Now again, I don't see that you necessarily have a full course yellow for that, but maybe it's got lost a wheel.
Yeah, so the wheel needs retrieving. That's why the full course yellow is there. We are now back to green, so the wheel has been retrieved.
Now, he was not on an out lap, so something else has happened. It might have been his second lap out of the pit lane. We don't have that data, but that's most unusual to actually shed a tyre when it's not on your out lap. So this is Kubish Machowski, Vladislav Lomko and Klemon Novalak's car.
That car of Klemon Novalak that you've just seen on three wheels did put itself into the lead of LMP2 a little while ago, so it's a significant problem, that, for one of the quick cars in class.
And don't forget, Inter Europol, the tiny team run out of Poland, were last year's LMP2 winners.
Yes, indeed. And there's a slow LMP2 car there, coming on to Mulsanne.
Oh, 22's looped around. Who's in United's car? And that is that's Nolan Siegel.
Yeah, just into the car, Nolan Siegel. I think it might be his second lap, might be his first flying lap.
Ooh, who was that?
Full course yellow coming.
Okay, full course yellow coming, and there it is. Right, so
we don't know what the incident is. My guess is it's a general clean and tidy up at this stage before we get into darkness.
Yeah, did you see the mess on the inside of I think you spotted it too through.
There was advertising hoarding down, and the bollards were not as in their prescribed position from the World Bollard Association.
Here's another look at that incident in the Ford chicane.
But that was further on, wasn't it? It's still up here, so I think it will be a general tidy up, whilst there are still good lines of sight in full daylight for the marshals to do so.
We just saw another big brand appearing out on track. Now, whatever sphere of sport you come from, Valentino Rossi, like Tom Brady, is one of those household names. I mean, this man will add a third to your gate. Pachito Lopez back in the number 7 Toyota garage, where we have not seen him all season. He's been leading the charge in Toyota's other arm, their GT3 Lexus crew, but with the injury to Mike Conway late last week that ruled him out from Le Mans, Pachito, the obvious replacement. He drove that number 7 car last year, and he's back in it here at Le Mans, trying to help the other two drivers now with championship points. Again, Ben Keating in trouble at Indianapolis. He is having an absolute nightmare.
Interestingly as well, one thing most people forget in this game where you share drivers. Oh, that wasn't a good sign, was it? That was not a good sign at all from
that
the Mustang
engineer,
garage.
I'm afraid she was saying, okay, that was the universal hand signal across the road that came over, left front corner. So is that a TCA? That shouldn't be anything non-fixable. Maybe she was just saying, okay, that's broken, let's get it out. That's either a steering arm, in which case they'll need to change the steering rack, or a track control arm.
Look at the energy, so much energy going through the front that it's actually affecting the rear wing moving around as well.
Yeah. What is going on with Ben Keating as well? The United Autosports 23 car. I don't think I can remember a time, Anthony. You've seen a lot of Ben's races in GTs where he's put a car off the road. That car has been a spinning top. And yet, he's an LMP2 champion in IMSA. He's not unfamiliar with the LMP2 car. He knows the car. I don't know, I'm absolutely at a loss. Either that or the real Ben Keating is tied up in a locker somewhere and somebody's in his suit.
The only thing I hypothesise about is that the LMP2 car running here in the Le Mans downforce setup in the World Endurance Championship regulations could be a very different car to what he's used to with those big old wings and the sprint package, as they call it, in IMSA.
It is Valentino Rossi leading LMGT3 for Team WRT. And those cars, gentlemen, the M4 GT3s, have been nowhere this week. And all of a sudden, with the slings and arrows of what's been going on with weather, with incidents, the BMWs are coming back up the order.
Oh my goodness me, that's the number 3 caddy. That's a proper rallycross moment and a good square slap on the barriers. Jose Maria Lopez in for his first racing pit stop in hypercar this year.
Good to have him back.
And the irony is that Pachito was out cycling with him when Mike went down. I'm absolutely not making any judgment on that. But Pachito, not only, by the way, has he not had a race in this car, he was only called up on Thursday of last week, so he's not had any of the long practice runs. He's not done the 30-hour test and all the other yada, yada, yada that's preparation for the race. He's been parachuted in. Oh, Alpine facing the wrong way, 35 or 36. What colour are the mirrors? It's 35.
It's not facing the wrong way, it's smoking.
Yeah.
That is big trouble for the 35 car.
Well, they've had 2 endurance tests with the team, and that's Ferdi Habsburg jumping away. Is it red? No, it's green. You can see the green light inside.
I think that's done.
Yeah, they've had 2 30-hour or 2 24-hour attempts. One, the car broke down. The second, they had an engine failure. That's really tough for Ferdi, returning to the team after injury in testing. And again, the logo's there, not just Alpine, but Alpine Renault. That is the brand that won here back in 1977.
Oh, that's gone a big way.
Yeah. That has all the hallmarks of going no further. That's a lot of oil, or possibly bits of metal. And I had my facts slightly wrong. Too young to actually have been here in 19... I'm not actually too young to have been here in 1978. I just wasn't. It was 1978 that Didier Pironi and Jean-Pierre Jousseau won in Le Mans in the Alpine Renault, the 3rd year of that car's campaign. Beautiful, open, white, yellow and black long-tail sports car. Absolutely stunning thing. So into the retirement books goes our second car, the marker of doom. I am wielding it now because I don't think 35 is coming back from that one. That will be our second retirement of the race.
I think the Ardennes may be in trouble.
Oh, that's not good. It is Sarah Bovey. 3 orange lights means 3rd in LMGT3. Car's stationary. Want to see those lights going on and off as she gets it restarted. Little bit of damage on the left front corner. You can see a bit of the tape from the wrap flapping around there. That's not starting in a hurry. She's already dropped down to 6th position. It was not an error by Sarah Bovey. She was properly clumped by a speeding Porsche.
That was a big, big hit. We're very lucky. We've got the Lamborghini back onto pit lane. Didn't manage to spot, I'm afraid, in that moment, just exactly which of the 3 factory Porsches it was.
Sarah Bovey did make it back to the pit lane. She's gone back out on track. But oh boy, the gap that the Porsche was going for no longer existed when he got there. On board Ridge's Fan Tour, chasing Ismacio Baxivilla. BMW, brand new car to WEC this year, though it raced last year in the InterWeatherTech Sports Car Series in North America. Been chased by a brand new car, period, the Alpine.
17 seconds ahead, looking here at the LMGT3 graphic, and this is on board with Valentino Rossi. The doctor is in the house, he's in the BMW. He goes through the same point where Sarah Bovey got the impact from a Porsche, and it was another Porsche passing it by there, but with no contact this time. Valentino Rossi putting in a storming run. He's at the moment 1 minute and 20 seconds ahead of Jules Sturm.
That is impressive.
In the Montai Pure Racing Porsche, the second Porsche in the hands of Yasser Shahin. That car 25 seconds further back. Worth saying, by the way, in a point of history, fewest GT class Porsches in this Le Mans 24 Hours in this century.
As a thought for you, the aggressive Porsche against Sarah Bovey was Mathieu Jaminet, who is under investigation.
Number 4.
Oh, hello. Damage on. Which one is that?
That's the 4.
Is that Jaminet from touching the?
I think it was.
The Lambo.
This is the hit. There.
Wow.
Yeah. On Sarah Bovey's side, she wasn't doing anything wrong there. Jaminet was just not leaving her quite enough room. That is a normal overtaking manoeuvre around the outside, but you've just got to leave a bit more space.
Where could she have gone? She was virtually on the edge of the road anyway. She couldn't just disappear. No. Yeah. Just over 5.5 hours of the race done. 2 confirmed retirements. The number 35 Alpine out of the race. The car of Paul-Luc Chatin Ferdinand Hasbo-Charmelezi.
And now the other one.
36 is in the wars as well. Oh dear. The other retirement, just quickly to mention, the Ferrari, and that is not a good sight either. That is the, well, it says Proton Competition, Orica. I was thinking that was more Iron Link's livery, but it is the Proton Competition car, and it crawls to a halt, brings out a yellow. Who's at the wheel of that one?
Reed, I think.
You're quite right, Jonas Reed, son of team owner Christian Reed.
Yeah, lost power. Doesn't look like he's touched anything. It all looks in place and doesn't look like he's got any flat tires. So it's just purely loss of power.
Fifth in LMP2. Into the pit lane now comes the AO by TF entry of the team owner, which is PJ, Philip Jeffrey Hyatt, down the pit road. This is a rather sorry sight, isn't it? Because number 9 being pushed away is looking like its day might well be done. That slow zone then, just neutralising that one section of the circuit. You have to slow, you can't overtake, of course. It allows the race to carry on, albeit under controlled conditions, while the marshals move that car out of the way. So now we not only have to worry about race order and pit stops and tyres, we also have to try guessing which set of headlights we're looking at as the cars head towards us at different parts of the circuit. We'll be experts by the dawn. Heavy rain reported at Marshall's post 30. Quick look out of the window, what do we see? No brollies up over here yet, so it's possibly heading our way. And we understand the rain's going to stop in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
Into the pit lane anyway comes the race leader. Yayathay is in.
I'm glad I'm here. Sat here. It's not raining in here.
Lovely and warm in here.
So slow zone, that is why everybody's going slowly. You can see how much energy there is in the cars in that leading order. And this is the view on board with Nicholas Nielsen. 95 in the gravel. I did suggest a moment ago.
You want to go backwards, mate. Yeah. Okay, come on, come on, come on.
That's Hiroshi Hamaguchi, the Japanese driver. I did suggest we might have cars going off the road now. It's happening, isn't it?
It's suddenly got very dark as well, that cloud over the top of us. He's super gentle on the car.
But he's on slicks, don't forget.
He's on slicks. And on probably the dampest part of the track right now.
Bit braver here, but no, that was very cautious through the chicane.
It's such a difficult thing to know. Like, you're on a straight here, and do you say, well, yeah, I can go flat, but one little spin up on the rear at high speed, and you're going around, and you're going in the wall, and you're probably going out of the race.
He actually struggled to get around with any sort of pace at all.
Toyota on wets, easily overtaking.
So that's Hirakawa going by.
No, there's lots of short shifting going on. Everything he's doing gently. He doesn't want to hit the brakes hard. He wants to hit the brakes gradually and gently. When he's picking up the throttle pedal rather than slamming it on like you can in the dry, he's really, really feathering it on. That's really, he's doing a good job. Whoa, that looks horrible.
Jenson Button under investigation for a possible slow zone procedural infringement.
Kind of looks like he's not going to pit this lap.
It's so tippy-toey, though, as you've been saying. He's up the curb, which is treacherous and wet, and he can't just bury his foot on the throttle. Comes up to the end of the lap, then he's approaching that imposing Module Sportif building in the distance. And there are cars ahead, the pit lane beckons, he stays out.
He looked to be catching those cars awful quickly.
Well, it says green flag on the timing screen, no yellows shown. I think that was just a very nervous Am in a GT3 car.
See.
This is brave, really brave.
Yes. This could go down in YouTube history of being some of the best onboard wet weather motoring, like Glenn Seaton's Bathurst 1987 efforts. So at the moment, both of the factory Ferraris look to be in real trouble because they're on the wrong tyres. Ferrari in, and that's 51, isn't it? Except those aren't wet.
Yeah, another one more lap, it's raining, and now it will decrease. Just survive and stay out, we'll be okay.
Hiroshi Hamaguchi's McLaren has a 20-second penalty to serve at the next pit stop for an unsafe rejoin, and a big lose there. That is number 30, the Duquesne team, Orica, which so nearly got T-boned in that spin. And it was John Falb at the wheel of it, and another one spins into the pit lane. That's 37. This is where Robert Kubica needs to make the most of the wet tyres on the wet road and try and stretch that gap.
About to put a lap on that other Ferrari in front, is that right? What is that?
Yeah. to Ferrari. I think it's 51, isn't it?
So that puts 83 a lap ahead of the factory car. Let's listen to Kubica's traffic.
No, and the update question.
At the moment your pace looks good. 51 in front of you, just exited pits on new softs.
This is on board number 60, which is the Iron Lynx Lamborghini that charges the wall. That's a big hit, and that's done some front damage to the Lamborghini, and it was Claudio Schiavone, part of the Iron Lynx management, that has been at the wheel of it, and a full course yellow is called for. That's our second one, isn't it? And so at 22.09, full course yellow for number 60.
That might actually stop that car's race.
Yeah, I think you're probably right in that. So now you can see there number 50, Nicholas Nielsen. He's trying to get warmth in the tyres. There's debris on the road in the darkness as well. Very brave Marshall, legs it out, and is thankfully able to pick up the enormous bit of bodywork.
Easy.
Stay.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, chap. Let's listen in again to number 60.
Gearbox is not going.
Gearbox is not going. Probably a legacy of the car being charged into the barrier, that. So it's all started to unravel a bit for Iron Lynx / Iron Dames. On board with Nicholas Nielsen. So full course yellow means you slow all the way around the lap. That does tyre heat no good at all.
No, but it also negates the fact that he's on the wrong tyre. So actually he'll be sitting there now thinking this is fantastic for me.
Because a full course yellow is better than a slow zone.
Correct.
Yes.
For him.
Exactly right, yes.
Not
yes.
for the competitors who are on wets.
.36 has been retired, so both Alpines gone.
Okay.
Before 11 p.m. So one assumes that was an engine-related drama as well, but it's out of the race. We're back to race conditions, but we also have a yellow flag at Marshall's post 33, which is at the very end of the lap.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Nicholas Nielsen last time around, 3:56. And okay, I think we had a bit of yellow in during that time as well. Did we? Maybe not, but...
no, we did, you're right.
The fastest car on wets was 3:50, was it? Yeah, or 3:49.
Getting replays of more people going off the road.
That's a close one. Oh, you've just about got away with that.
Did it.
Well done. Yes. I think the 83 is just going to, if he can just do another 2 or 3 laps on these wets and then box and go to slicks, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Could not have called it better.
No, indeed. Yellow at Marshall's post 25, and that's the reason, because off the road is Bourdais. Now he's on slicks. He's just gone onto slicks.
Cold slicks, yes.
Thankfully, he's managed to hook up reverse and the car isn't beached, so he's able to quite quickly get back on the road.
And good stints by Kubica, who's going to stay in the car, by Robert Schwarzman, by Yeifei, as Martin Haven was saying earlier on, the Chinese driver who is the real deal, was very good in single-seaters, but has really stood out in sports car racing. 3 wide in the traffic. Look at that. Breathe in. If you see a car breathe in, you know it's tight. I think it just happened. The hypercars on the prowl.
Jenson Button having a moment, of course, just out of the pits. Just as we've said, you know, cold tyres, long straight, no heat, and slightly damp.
Thank you, Jensen. You couldn't have timed that better to illustrate the point. Well done. You must be listening to us. So that car...
A bit of weaving now, trying to...
Yes.
But the thing is, there's only a short, a very thin line of dry track.
Jenson Button in 12th place. That's a great shot, isn't it? You see how narrow the road is and how dark it is as well.
The first sector must be drying up quite nicely. A couple of green sectors for a few GT cars. So actually...
Who's that one going wide? Is that... What are those lights? For the BMW?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of the BMWs that ran wide as well.
Number 20, remember Robin Fritz crashed it earlier on. He's now having to have the...
Almost like a touch, or there's a bit of a wiggle in the back end then, was it?
Was that the crest of the road? Just having a bit of a...
Yeah, bit loose.
Let me just finish my Robin Fritz sentence. Rear drive shaft, rear brakes being changed on number 20 after the crash earlier on. And there is 15 with massive damage at the front. Dries van Thor, for the 3rd time this weekend, has put the car off the road. That looks terminal, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I think that's the car we saw a minute ago that just ran straight through the gravel. So he had a problem of some description, and he's
cold tyres.
He's got a big problem now. He's on an outlap.
You're right. Yeah.
He's on an outlap.
Cold tyres. That's what it is. He's just taking the wets off, put the slicks on.
This is on board.
I know it was a touch.
You were right.
It was. Right. That was a touch with Kubica.
Wow. Well, that's going to get looked at, and the mirror falls down, or the screen falls down, and Van Thor, like, what was that?
That was well spotted, Peter. It was just, you saw it, we were on board the Ferrari at the time, and as he was passing, there was the slightest little wiggle.
Disbelief. He just can't believe what's just happened.
He has just been knocked out of the race, hasn't he? A totally committed Kubica. A yellow flag is out, and I think they realise that's game over. That can't be driven back, can it? With that front left wheel at that angle, that's done.
Absolutely not. Well, they're certainly going to look at that. There's no two ways about it. But that's the thing. What do you give? Does something like that warrant just a drive-through or a 10-second?
Our first safety car of the race. First safety car of the running of this year's Le Mans 24 Hours.
That's not good news.
Smoky. In fact, there's a lot of liquid all over the front of that.
And here, from another angle, is that touch. It wasn't a big hit, but it was enough, and look at the damage it's done.
Kubica was very close to the Porsche, and maybe he felt that, oh, I'm by, and yes, he snuck by, but he did move right.
Yeah, Van Thor stayed straight.
Could there have been any, for want of a better word, aero wash from the Porsche against the Ferrari? No?
Not that much, no.
Okay.
Unless there was a slight touch with the Porsche on the left, and that's what made him go right. I don't know. You know what, though? If you are one of the stewards deciding these things, they try not to take into account, like we'll see with the BMW in a minute, they try not to take into account the end result. He might just end up, if he's going to get a penalty, it might just be a drive-through 10-second stop and go.
The penalty should be for the move, not the outcome,
exactly.
Shouldn't it? So, we've had, as you can see, plenty of overtakes through Hypercar and LMP2, and this then is our first safety car period of the race. There is not only, of course, the car to remove, but the track to sweep, and possibly also barrier damage. And 15, we know, is a retirement, so it's another one for the marker of doom to annihilate.
Is there barrier damage? Because I see trucks, repair trucks driving here.
Yeah, it looks to be. It looks to be. It's, I think it's Robert Kubica in the straight line that pushed your brother to the barrier. Your brother is fine, because the car is done, and yeah, he hit the barrier, so they need to repair it.
That can't have been an easy message to deliver, to say to somebody, your brother's been involved in the accident.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't that concerned because he was asking if the barrier was broken. He didn't ask if his brother was all right, did he?
Not that we heard, no.
There's the stage that will be keeping us awake throughout the night, and has done for the last couple of evenings, and the marshals and the drivers, because it's handily been sited right next to the biggest team campsite in the campus. That needs a bit of a rethink. We already saw WRT changing the brakes on their GT3 BMW. Brake change there going on for the Vista Ferrari as well. Here's James Collado shaking his head about something.
Must have just lost it, Snake again.
And it's a great opportunity for the race director to employ marshals to go and particularly at places like the Dunlop chicane, which is just a rallycross stage covered in gravel after the first couple of moments of the race.
Deploy the marshals, not employ, because they're all volunteers.
Yes.
That's Freddie Mercury gets to work.
I was going to say, where's the I Want to Break Free soundtrack? But this is the attention to details. The teams, they're hoovering up bits of muck and gravel out of the garage as well. We go for merge.
We do indeed. We'll merge onto the single safety car. Pits will close, and then there will be a pass around as and when required. And that's the celebration of that news in the middle of the circuit. Handy, because it's actually outside your caravan.
Yes, I'm hoping that it hasn't caught light by the time we get back there. 1 hour the safety car has been on track, and we are showing you the regulations here for the pass around. Anybody who is in the merged safety car queue ahead of their class leader will be waved round to join the back of that queue. So at the front of each class will be the class leader. You don't have to be on the lead lap to get the wave by.
No, you don't.
So 311 and 94, which are not on the lead lap, will also get the wave by because the race leader is, or their class leader is behind them. So they don't automatically get wave by enough to come back onto the lead lap. But again,
you're overcomplicating a really simple process. They were on the lead lap, they're still going to be on the same lead lap.
Yeah, but they're not on the lead lap, but they are waved by, so they're not in danger of losing a second lap. And as
we have got people coming in.
Yeah.
And already a car spun on pit lane entry. That's how what it is.
It's a Porsche.
Is that a Porsche?
Good luck, everybody.
Meantime, I was correct, by the way. The 92 Porsche was the one in the gravel at pit in. That's dropped from the lead of the race to 12th. So the Codis ASP Lexus leads Le Mans.
This is how it happened, coming into the pit lane.
Yeah.
For that Porsche 92. To the left, to the right, over the curb, and that was just enough.
Curb.
It's all it takes to unsettle the car.
Car 83 ahead has a 30-second stop-and-go penalty. Once it serves it, you will be in P1. Your position 1 now.
3:55, 35 seconds slow. Yeah, that's the Duquesne Engineering car, and that does not look like there's been any damage, but is that going to be a full course yellow? Is that going to be a local yellow? Or is that potentially going to be a safety car?
You don't often see that from an LMP2 car at all.
I was going to say, that's a really rare sight.
Incredibly rare sight.
I don't think I've ever seen a P2 car do that.
No, and that is at the entrance to the first chicane. Yeah, fire in the airbox.
In the airbox there. Is that... It looks like an engine failure, but it's the debris in the airbox. Here he comes now to take the penalty.
Will lose the better part of a minute, and a minute behind him would be 7th place 51 Ferrari James Collado.
Rio Hirakawa and Toyota.
And not a bad time to do it as well with the slow zone out there.
Yeah. Could be worse. I mean, they may have caught a break there. And,
they've mitigated the problem basically by stopping now under the slow zone.
And it's those little twists of fate that can make the difference. And something tiny is going to make the difference in this race. Nobody's going to win this by several laps. We will see white flags being displayed because one of the Manitou snatch vehicles is now on track to lift the Duquesne car out of the way and remove it to a place of safety.
So that, by the way, will become our 6th confirmed retirement.
Lost it under the bridge. I wondered if he got tapped, but he didn't. He just lost it, didn't he, as he rejoined and turned left.
I lost it. I lost the car.
And that's the 93 Peugeot going around. Same place as we saw the two Oricas have a problem.
Yeah, Nico Muller at the wheel of the 93.
It's been a quiet day for the Peugeots, and there's the 14th moment. That's the replay. Wild spin and recovery from Louis Delatraz. It was seconds later we saw the same for the 45. Slightly less dramatic, but another pirouette. If you had to put that money down, and I know as a Scotsman you're not likely to do that, just exactly where would your pound be?
Oh, I still think that one of the Ferraris.
Looking there at a troubled Ferrari, Graham. That is limping on. It is indeed 66. That's the JMW car.
That car has been a major player in this race so far, but has been dropping down the order of late, and there's big trouble by the look of it for Saliolic.
It's going to come to a grinding halt by the look of it. He needs to get off the track there, doesn't he? Because he's going to end up, if the car expires, he's going to be perilously close to the edge of the road and on the racing line. Now, we're going to have a slow zone, obviously. Race control have tried to give Saliolic time to get the car back. Clearly, it ain't going to play. And this is the Peugeot making a real mess. 93, Mikkel Jensen.
It's a kiss with the barrier, but how bad was that?
I think he got away with that.
I think he did.
Fairly light. And in that position.
Wow. They might have been contact, you know, from the car on the inside of him there. I'm Dames, Michelle Gatti with her windscreen full. Oh, that was a
Lexus going off. One of the two Lexuses is.
And this could be for position, actually. It is for position. Esteban Masson in 4th place, and I know Michelle Gatti quite like that.
Michelle Gatting, Sarah Bovey and Rahel Frey, all quick drivers.
They are indeed, and they've been a bit of a force in European Le Mans Series and WC racing. Loads of luck this season, all of it bad.
Yeah.
Gutted for Ahmed Al-Hati. Very sorry indeed for Valentino Rossi and his legion of fans. That car had been a factor all the way through, and rather sadly, thousands are going to wake up tomorrow morning to find no 46 car on the leaderboard.
And the Rossi fans will all blame Ahmed Al-Hati for being the man that put the car off. He will not receive an Al-Hati welcome, therefore.
Oh dear, oh dear. I'm just going to make a note, because I think Concerned About Kobayashi makes a great title for a book at some point in the future. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be about, but it's a great title.
I'll workshop it over the rest of the race.
We should.
That almost allows me a plug for my book that is now available on sale in all good retailers.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, which is this?
It's called The Immortals of British Motor Racing.
Really?
Yes.
Is it good?
I think it's fantastic, but if you buy one, you can tell me.
Right.
DSC can review it. But it's honestly, it's a genuine. I'm not winding you up when I say this.
It's an absolute banger.
It's a good read. Yes, out now.
Rollicking good read there, David Anderson, on the book The Immortals of British Motor Racing by, checks notes, David Anderson.
Yes, but Concern About Kobayashi is your latest Japanese spy thriller.
I think that could be very good.
That was a Ferrari in front, so that's like Earl Bamber behind.
Trying to have another go there?
Yeah, I put my teeth back in. hang on a minute.
It was Fuoco bottoming out Earl Bamber's view of it. Yes, indeed. And at Cadillac, you have to make your own amusements and keep yourselves awake. The Iron Dames likewise. And where you can, just relax before you have to leap back into action. Take the opportunity.
I think in that situation, you never want to be the first one to fall asleep, do you?
No, true enough.
Not in a garage full of bored mechanics.
I think you need more people to make a proper Mexican wave, but, you know, something to do for the cameras. Let us, as we ride on board with Charlie Eastwood, just listen to what's going on in race control for a moment, the Race Director radio channel.
Car 78, manager car 78, we're getting reports that your rear lights are not working, your rear brake lights are not working. Please make sure you fix that problem immediately.
Right, so 78, second in LMGT3, is being brought into the pits, not sorted at your next stop, sort it now. That's going to be a bad blow, isn't it, to the Lexus? Now there's 78 in for what looks like a routine stop, new tyres, fuel going on, but there's no work yet being done about the lights. So you might be right, Rob, that they've come back on because they're not remotely concerned about looking at the back of the car, are they?
The rear lights are definitely on.
Yeah.
And actually...
But wasn't it the brake lights?
It was the brake lights, you're right.
Well, they said rear brake lights, so, I mean, I know the brake lights are at the rear, but it's...
But did they not say that race control said they'd had reports that the brake lights weren't on? So is that a marshal who reports that in, or is that another driver who's reported in?
It could be either of the above, or it could be a scrutineer standing on the pit wall watching the cars and has noticed it. Big drama there, because off the road you've got two of them. One is the 77 Mustang, and that looks like an LMP2 car, am I right in saying? Is it the Porsche Curves, Rob, is it not?
Yeah, number 24, that is.
So that's the Nielsen Racing Shearer, Hannah Hansen, Simpson car that was second in class.
Second place, yeah.
And it was within the Dunlop S's, not the Porsche Curves, forgive me, and that was Hannah Hansen being a hero on the inside. Here's the replay from on board the Mustang, and all of a sudden there'll be a bang. There it is.
Yeah, clumsy.
I don't quite know what the Mustang was expected to do there, but that has just cost the Nielsen Racing car any chance of winning LMP2, because it is so evenly matched with everybody having the same car, engine, tyre, that, even if they lose only one lap, that's still game over. There's one recovery vehicle, there are two cars, and they've gone to what you might call the innocent party first. Now, is that on instruction from race control, or is that just a coincidence?
I would say they've got to that one first. So I'd say
that's
just
nearer.
It's nearer. Let's get the one out which is nearer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, there's not a lot of interest in the Nielsen Racing car in contrast, is there?
No.
Everybody's around the Mustang, and the aggressor out of all of that, he's kind of, you know, taking extra punishment. We'll get to you in a minute.
Make him wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they're going that way.
To put it on an access road rather than on the live circuit when it's stationary, I would suggest.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point.
PJ Hyatt involved in a battle for 6th in the class with Job van Uitert.
I think that move will be done quite quickly.
Yeah, well, it needs to be, because they're approaching a slow zone, of course, where that incident between the Mustang and the other Orica has happened. So Van Uitert needs to try to get by on the inside line. Headlights become much wider, and I reckon he's done it on the inside, goes through and instantly starts to pull clear.
Yeah, quite sensible there, actually. Don't put up a fight, let the car by.
Back to the garage goes 77. And I know they've come a long way, and I know they want to get to the end, but, you know, they're going to be so far off being classified as finishers, you start to question whether it's going to be worth carrying on with all the effort put in. There might be more damage to try to repair. At what point do we say we're fighting a losing battle here?
Well...
Might have some rain in 10 minutes. Might have some rain in around 10 minutes.
Here we go again.
Might have some rain in 10 minutes, the radio call. I blame you. Every time you're here, it rains, Robert. And Gregoire Saucy has just been given a get-out-of-jail-free card. No further action in that tangle with Jordan Taylor.
Wow.
One or two people might be surprised about that.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but what I would say is we didn't see the replay of the cause of the incident. We just saw from the one angle. They've obviously looked at it thoroughly, because it's taken quite a long time. So there's obviously more to that story than we could see.
We are getting reports of light rain at different locations. We have rain on track in different locations. Rain lights on, low mode. Rain lights on, low mode.
Martin Haven joins us, just in time for the rain.
Your own personal spotter guide, it is not raining outside currently.
Thank you very much.
So I've come in dry as a bone.
Show off.
Just gone past the 11-hour mark here at Le Mans, and are we starting to see a little bit of water on the camera lens? We certainly are.
And a yellow flag we're seeing as well. Marshall's post 30, so that's Porsche Curves area, Rob, isn't it? So what do we see?
We see a lot of wet track. We see a lot of tyre tracks on a wet road, and there's somebody in the gravel. That's the final element of the Porsche Curves. That's an LMP2 car, but which one it is? Too many cars in the vicinity to see one that's stopped. 24.
24, I think. That's
That's only just come back out onto the track after being in the gravel.
In strife, continues to be in strife.
Just go back to Hannah Hansen for a second. We'll finish the point, because when he went off the first time, it was whilst second in class. So one rash... Oh, and a wheel off a car as well.
Is that Hannah Hansen? No. Is that exiting the pit lane?
No. I think so.
Wet. It's got either that or it's had a big groove machined in it. 45. Oh dear, so CrowdStrike Racing by Algarve Pro by APR.
It's Colin Braun at the wheel of it, on 3. Well, that's not the first LMP2 car to shed a wheel. Remember Clement Novalak earlier on, but he lost a left front. That's a left rear.
Yeah, that's going down into Mulsanne corner, so he's got quite a long way on that.
And it's an outlap.
Well, it's not a wet then, it has been machined by the bodywork, so he's probably been feeling that all the way around since he got up to the Dunlop curve, and it had a big wobble. Oh dear, that can't be just the rain.
No, but Rob, if on an outlap you lose a wheel, that's going to get looked at for an unsafe release, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the rule, yeah, absolutely.
Which is adding insult to injury, isn't it? Because the driver gets penalised for something that he didn't do. But he's not going to make it all the way back with one-wheel drive. That, I'm afraid, is likely to be the end of their race.
Yes.
Being overtaken by your own wheel is never a good thing, is it?
And it goes up to the barrier, and further insult to injury is that a Goodyear hits a Michelin banner.
Race leader is in, Sebastian Buemi is out, if you follow me.
He's been in the car for a while, so he deserves a bit of respite, doesn't he, after a long stint.
Second place, number 6 Porsche is in as well to Penske Porsche Motorsport for service, and it is raining in the pit lane now, so I made it back just in time.
You did. We're going to have a full course yellow. It's about 30 seconds away and counting, but we're going to have a full course yellow, presumably, to recover the Colin Braun car and the wheel.
I think so. The wheel is the easier element, because the marshals can walk down the barrier, pick it up and toss it back behind the barriers.
10, 9.
So that's the count in the background for the full course yellow.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow. Full course yellow.
So that is the Lisa bot, as we refer to it. That is the voice of Lisa.
Intervening on both sides of the track. Please stay in the middle of the track. At MP18, stay in the middle of the track. We are pushing the car backwards.
Game over.
I'm afraid it really is, yes.
It's not like the old days where you could sneak a wheel out through the trees and nobody would notice. It's all on camera now.
I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to get him to stick something in the rear disc to stop that from spinning. So if you can stop that one side from spinning, then the other side should gain traction.
Colin Braun looking for a cat to kick. Clearly not happy with the way things are going.
Or a cat to insert in the axle to get the drive, possibly.
Animal lovers may not literally be kids. I'm sorry, he was not looking for a cat to kick. It may be actually that he's gone to look for a stout stick or something sensible, having not been able to rip anything substantial off the car.
It's been done before.
GT3's being a bit of a trooper, having done a number of stints, Joel Sturm. A Sturm trooper, possibly, therefore. But he comes down towards Mulsanne corner, still clearing the lead of the class.
Looking at that weather map, look where we are compared to what's on the left. No, I'm not sure I'd say that's 10 minutes from ending.
No, absolutely right. Drive-through penalty just being offered now to number 87 for speeding in the pit lane. 87 is the Lexus of Takeshi Kimura, Esteban Masson, Jack Hawksworth. It was, I think I'm right in saying, Jack that was being investigated, and the outcome is speeding, yes, guilty. So it's a drive-through, and that's going to cost them just a little bit more time.
It's a phrase I've never heard, a penalty being offered to. Would you like a drive-through? No, not really. Oh, well, never mind, you're having one.
Yes.
That's sort of like your mother saying, would you like to go to bed early with no tea? But no, not really. Up the stairs, off you go, Sunbeam.
Well, Jack Hawksworth is having no tea, and he's up the stairs because he has been the one caught speeding. 3:30 in the morning here. And, of course, there's always that trick, isn't there, Martin, when you get to the daylight hours that you think, good, we're nearly at the end, we've broken the back of this race. You've still got to get all the way through to 4 p.m.
Yes. Dawn comes quite early here. Dawn will break a little, seem to break a little later because of the heavy overcast. But, yeah, it must be 12:23 somewhere. Not quite sure where. And Jack Aitken was trying to pick up speed out of the S's through Tertre Rouge when he looped the car around. So that was before he came out onto the Mulsanne in the Whelen Caddy. Behind him is Romain Grosjean and a safety car now. So something major has happened. We need to get people, bodies on track, safety cars. Now that brings the drivers down to a reasonable speed behind one of the 3 safety cars.
Just wondering whether it's purely because of the rain.
I'd be surprised. It's not that wet.
No.
And the other aspect of that is, as soon as you slow them down, they lose any heat in their wet weather tyres, which actually makes it harder to drive.
But I'm struggling to find anybody else, unless, again, it's because there's now gravel on a wet road in the dark from Jack Aitken's moment.
Yeah, we're not being notified of any cars that are stationary other than the ones we know of which aren't on track.
Exactly. That's why I'm leaning towards it being a weather-induced. So the halfway mark is just about reached. There, the Rolex clock saying we've done 12 hours. It's 4 a.m. and an awful lot has happened in the last 12 hours of the race.
Information to the pit lane. It seems that we may be staying longer than we expected with the safety cars on track. It seems that we may stay much longer than we expected. It was getting lighter, now it's getting back to heavy rain again.
So that confirming what we were suggesting earlier, Martin, that it is because of the rain and the darkness, and it's a safety call, really, which you can understand.
Try the wiper button one more time, that's you.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Copy, stand by.
You can see his problem here, can't you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? In front of him is a racetrack and some cars. Number of teams are preparing for pit stops. Another number of teams are not. Everybody's got one thing in common. They are slightly nuts about endurance racing. And this is absolutely the zenith of endurance racing. Into the pits comes the AO by TF car that led the field away in LMP2. It's in 6th place at the moment. Alex Quinn bails out. And again, as you suggest, maybe PJ Hyatt has been roused from his slumbers to take over the car. Because, yes, if you have a bronze-rated driver in LMP2, particularly LMP2 Pro-Am or in LMGT3, this is the ideal time to put them in for a stint and burn up some of their minimum drive time. Each bronze-rated driver in these 2 categories must do at least 6 hours of driving in the race.
Don't worry about the fuel so much, just do what you were doing before.
Okay, are you on the toilet?
No, I'm not. Must be my microphone again.
It sounds like you're in a swimming pool, I don't know, or in the toilet.
Clement Mathieu bails out of the 34 into Europol car, takes his seat insert with him. And a smaller seat insert going in, and this is for Kuba Schmachowski.
Winner last year in class, gets strapped in.
There you go, says Kuba on his helmet with the red and white of his native Poland. Into Europol, by the way, not some Europe-wide police force, that's Interpol. They are a large bakery concern based in Poland. In fact, a very, very large bakery based right on the outskirts of Warsaw. But they have a huge European spread. So that's where the funding comes from. The family have been involved for many years, and Cooper started racing in V2V in SN2 cars. And here he is in the car that won Le Mans last year.
I'm actually being serious. I don't think I can stay in here for, like, after another pit stop. The problem I'm having is I'm cramping up on my legs. And then I'm not using my legs. I've got to keep them off the pedals, and I'm starting to cramp on my knees. So I'm just saying I don't think I can last another hour or hour and a half or whatever. Just so you're aware. If it stays safety car like this, I'm going to start struggling.
Understood. Don't think that would be very good for us, but I'll have a look.
So he's not got his feet on the floor like you would do in your car, because there isn't one, there's no room there. He's having to lift his legs up, keep his legs lifted. Sit in your chair at home, lift your heels off the carpet, off the floor, and keep them there. Right, now do that for another hour.
So we go and wake up Norman, so we'll have to wait a couple of laps, maybe 2 or 3 laps. Then we'll try to take you out of the car.
If that's the case, I thought he was there. Sorry. If that's the case, then I'll stay.
Yeah, they're a lot nicer than us, aren't they? We're going to have to wake Anthony up. Yes, about time too, the lazy rotter.
So the safety cars are running out of gas. So what they're going to do is they're going to swap safety cars at start-finish line. You basically just stay where you are and keep following the 11. But you may see the safety car in front of you pull off, and then another one will come out at the end of pit road.
Are we still P4?
No, negative. We dropped to P11 now.
So he came in under the safety car B. He's now going to wait and pick up.
Which safety car?
Which safety car? No.
C.
No.
B.
No.
D. Is there a
safety car D?
Oh, wow. So, you're absolutely right. Who even knew that such a... I mean, obviously, race control and Eduardo and everybody else, but...
Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day. Had no idea there was such a thing as safety car D.
I'm stupidly excited by this.
Yeah. We've learned
that wasn't
something.
In our briefing.
We've learned something at 5:32 on a Sunday morning. There's not many days of the year where that happens.
So
hot swapping safety cars.
Here we go. So there's safety car D behind. That's going to peel off, and then C will resume.
And then safety car D will go to pit exit, and replace the next safety car. So that could be fueled, and then he will do the same thing, and then replace the third safety car, so that can be fueled. There's been quite a few, by the way, good news, bad news radio messages, so I'm carrying on with that thing.
Give me the bad news first. I want to end on a high.
The rain is now not due to finish at 6 o'clock.
Oh, no. I've just seen a message, 7 o'clock. Great.
Yep, and it's going to get heavier.
Good news?
Well, there isn't any.
KMHU update here. So it's probably going to stay like this for another hour and a half. Drive time wise, you can stay in the car for another hour and 40 minutes. Our goal would be to stay out as long as we can and hopefully make it to daylight. Because if we make it to daylight, then we shouldn't have to repair the number panel.
Okay. Number panels are mandatory, not mandatory at night. Very moist Graham Goodwin has just splashed into the back of the booth. I'm assuming then that the rain has not lightened.
I will tell you, this is just the last 45 seconds. It wasn't raining. Now it is. Very much indeed.
I thought it was that age-old debate going on here, whether it's better to go quicker.
Yeah.
And you get less wet when it's raining, or the slower you go, do you get more wet or less wet? Because the faster you go, obviously, you're hitting the raindrops quicker.
Now, Anthony, I thought you were more analytical than that, because you've known me for quite a long time, and you know I've not gone quickly.
So that I've always wondered, and now I know.
Well, now
it's just a living example of if you go slowly, you get more wet.
No, now you know that if it's raining heavier than when you came in, you get more wet.
Don't overcomplicate it with science.
The other downside of the increase in weather is that Louise has pretty much finished doing her makeup and had a banana, and she's just about ready to get a race suit on and go out into the pit lane.
I was just checking.
Have you brought the wellies, Lou? No, the wedge wellies, she's left them in Nice. Rookie error. Now then, Graham Goodwin, in your many, 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 many years of watching endurance racing,
yes,
have you ever heard these words, safety car D?
That will be one to allow one, I presume, to fuel.
Indeedy. Hey, Angie and I were thrilled, and I can't overstate that. Really thrilled to discover that there was such thing, safety car D. And yes, they have had to refuel the safety cars. The thing that everybody always jokingly questions.
But did you know there was a safety car?
Yeah,
D?
I actually saw 4 go out.
Yeah, but did you know it was called D?
Oh, now we get it predicted.
I just want you to answer the question.
No, Anthony, I didn't know that.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
You see, even when we've got the old duffers in the booth, they learn something as well as us. And Anthony, by the way,
if this helps, every day's a school day.
Every day is a school day. Don't know what PDE gas is, Anthony. Shall we have a 20-minute conversation guessing what the acronym might be?
Here we go again. No.
6 minutes till sunrise, so we're getting the pre-dawn, the blue light the photographers that love so much, they get so excited about. But probably not while it's wet. Graham, if you press the red button, that helps.
It's still tied. I brought the blue back, brought out the bit where you said where you said you were wrong. I'll put that one in the A column.
Yes.
Did he say he was wrong?
He did say he was wrong.
John Brooks, one of our photography colleagues who passed away just a couple of years ago.
John Brooks hasn't passed away.
Has he not?
No, he's life kicking. I spoke to him last week.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I thought, oh, right, in which case...
If he's dead, he's doing a very good job of disguising it.
In which case, I haven't seen him
John.
for a while. I'm very sorry, Brooksy.
So basically, what you're telling us here, Martin, is if you don't see someone for a while, you think they're dead.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Are you wrong again?
Yeah.
2. He's definitely not dead.
Well, I'm very happy in that case. Why did I think that he... Now, luckily, David Addison wrote down when the safety car began. Rather unluckily, he took the piece of paper with him.
And now it's about 6 o'clock, so it's now sunrise, and you're in the car for a bit less than 3 hours now.
And he's thinking, thanks a lot, Mike Conway.
That is pretty... He's regretting pushing Mike off his bike now, isn't he?
That wiper not working at the moment. Is that just...
He probably feels he can, at these kind of speeds, he feels like he can see okay, or yeah, maybe that's not working.
No, it's not working.
Do you know, is that a fact?
Yeah.
They said that already, okay.
Had a radio message about 90 minutes ago. Have you tried pressing the button again? Yes, I've tried pressing the button again.
Oh, wow.
That was it. Yep, wiper button does not work. Now then, look at this. Whoa, that's an exciting picture because it's not pitch black anymore. Oh, by the way, happy Father's Day to any fathers in the UK who are awake at this stage.
Exactly. Yeah, happy Father's Day.
I hope my dad's not awake at 6:16, but I'm sure he'll be awake later.
My dad is.
So it is.
He's been texting away. He's still there listening.
That's the.
Well done,
are
Dad.
they quite regular? Is he like? Is that like social media? Is pre-programmed them? So every 43 minutes he sounding really good.
Oh wow, yeah. Excellent race.
Yeah.
He texted me about Brendan Hartley's leg cramp. Yeah, he says he gets that and his clutch calf. So he can totally empathise with Brendan Hartley.
Have you got cramp? If so, text Anthony Davidson on
0800cramp.com.
Steering brightness issues. Text Davidson on. I don't think he went to sleep like that.
No.
I'm pretty certain he didn't as well.
No matter what it takes, do not fall asleep in the pit lane.
Poor old Robert Kubica has to do everything with his left hand, by the way, in the pit stop. So his right hand's just constantly on the steering wheel. As we know, he suffered that horrific rally crash, and where his right arm was severed, and yeah, just awful scenes that day. A long road to recovery. So it's great to see Robert back in top flight motorsport. And yeah, like you say, Martin, they were leading this race for quite a long time.
As the potential finish of the rain moves away from us, so the potential finish of the safety car period moves away from us. And they were basically saying on the radio, suck it up, Buttercup, you're going to have to stay in the car forever.
I know what we can do. We can make a blind test. I can play a song 2 seconds and I have to find I have to guess the name of the song.
Olivier is on the case.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is actually helping me to stay awake, so...
Yeah.
Thanks for helping me out.
No worries. No worries.
They're going to play Beat the Intro on Team Radio. Give me 2 seconds of a song and I'm going to try and identify the song. That's genius. They'll be getting Ken Bruce in for Sunday morning safety car popmaster soon.
It's a lot of things I've never heard before, never thought I'd hear. You know, it's like, am I dreaming or something? Did I actually wake up?
You're quite appalled, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. But he's nuts.
Nick de Vries now under investigation for exiting the pit lane.
Well, now I saw him pulling away from the pit lane exit, and the red light was not on, and somebody else was leaving the pit lane.
Yeah.
No, they can rectify it just by bringing him in on this lap, sitting at the end of the pit lane, and let the other safety car pass them.
No, you're 100% right. Oh, that's the 7.
So they have done exactly that.
So they have done exactly that.
There's the green light.
And there goes Nick de Vries.
Yep.
Back in your rightful position. Oh, and he's checking. Just stop there, just checking if, is this really the right safety car to be in now, guys?
No investigation necessary for number 7.
Because they have undone the error. Yep. Why? And again, you know, the quicker you react to things like that and try and correct the mistake, as in all things in life, the better it is.
So 92 car not firing up. Or are they holding the car?
Did it have a penalty for any reason? Because that looked like a...
I think they may have held that car for exactly the same reasons we just said for the Toyota.
And that's why we saw the Ferrari being held as well momentarily, of course, wasn't it? Because they wanted just to double check that you're not going to go through and the green light be on when the safety...
Wait for the light to go red. That's what it is.
That's exactly why they're holding the cars at the pit stops. We've worked it out.
There you go.
Through trial and error.
And Nick de Vries.
And Nick de Vries.
So Felipe, rain is basically going to stop here in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Obviously the wiper still doesn't work.
Yeah, so safety car B and C have already moved to the side, allowed the train behind them. There you can see that's how that is achieved.
Safety car and all the cars not eligible bear left. Cars eligible for the pass around bear right.
Well, you watch, there's a lot of cars on the right there.
Start the pass around. Start the pass around.
You can see the black Toyota at the back of the picture just disappearing out of shot. So this long train of cars is going to go for the pass around, and you're absolutely right. It must be tough for the Toyota, right? Just see an endless train of cars coming by. Psychologically, after so long.
And that advantage that they worked so hard for just gone.
Yeah. So one team ready for a pit stop.
Track is green.
DKR.
No overtaking before the line. Cars that wish to pit now may do so.
And here we go, gentlemen. 7 hours 49 minutes on the dot to go, and we're back to green flag racing. What a relief.
Yeah, it's great to see. So let's get on with it. Let's see what's going to occur in the next few laps. Should be interesting.
And a great deal of visibility here. There you go. So that might explain the move. You can see it is completely misted. Car 59, by the way, is going to get a 30-second stop-and-go penalty for causing a collision. In comes Nick de Vries.
Guys, I box, okay? Otherwise I crash. I can't forego.
Yeah, box.
Apologies for the language there, but I think the sentiment was pretty clear. Can't see anything.
Car 51 gets a drive-through penalty for full course yellow speed. Car 51 drive-through penalty for a full course yellow speed infringement.
This is the leader in yellow GT3, and that car is into the garage. Does mean they can get more hands on the car if they've got an issue they're dealing with. Could be just a brake change, but it's an odd time to do it. Car up on the jacks.
Car 95, you see it come around the corner in a second, so it's not far behind.
No, and he's a bronze driver against a gold rank driver. Michel Gatting is the gold nowadays in the Iron Dames car. And, in search of a first ever Lamborghini finish at Le Mans.
Giovinazzi is still on, maximum attack, and he's about to have a go at the Porsche, which almost trips over the Ferrari, and he's done it on the inside. Brilliant opportunistic move. Giovinazzi uses the traffic, read that beautifully, and goes through, moves that car up into 8th place. Cracking stuff, that.
And it was another Ferrari, so Ferrari GT3 car, obviously under instruction there.
How dare.
Okay, deal. Car 7 is going to try the slick. Car 7 is going to try the slick. Feedback on conditions when you can.
Right, so number 7 heading for the slicks, and the data from that will be relayed to number 8. So Toyota here illustrating teamwork. 7 is in the pit lane from 3rd place and going now on to slick tyres. And if that works, then they'll consider that for number 8. And equally, they want to know from 8 what it's like on the wets, just in case they've made the wrong call, I guess.
Toyota number 7 just pitted for softs. Toyota number 7 just pitted for soft. Let's see the sector times. I'll keep you informed.
Yeah, I think we should pit as well.
Copy.
Kubis are saying they should pit, and Kevin Simpson off the road in number 24, the Nielsen Racing entry that's already been in the gravel a couple of times in the course of the race. A slide, takes the barrier down, or the hoarding down, hits the Armco, comes back across the road, and was oh so close to being walloped, and he's brought a whole load of rubbish onto the circuit as well.
Yeah, and he's on the slick tyre as well. So that yellow banded Goodyear tyre, that's done more damage than just bodywork. Surely is the car snaking around even in the straight line.
It's crabbing, isn't it?
That's not going to polish out, is it? That's for position there. Watching Hiroshi Hamaguchi go past the Iron Dames car, or if it can make, he's made it stick.
So that's the second in LM GT3. Hiroshi Hamaguchi, the very quick Japanese bronze, goes ahead of Michel Gatting. That was the reason for the yellow at Indianapolis. Another of the Oricas from LMP2 going off the road, and really helpfully bringing a whole load of gravel back onto the circuit just to keep people awake. And another one getting in strife there, 33, the DKR engineering car. Rene Binder, Lawrence Hur, Alexander Matschel.
Oh, no.
He's number 4 off the road, so that is from 17th place. Felipe Nasra, he's gone through the gravel.
Yeah, that's on the right-hander, and he's really had a hard hit on the right-hand side of that car.
He's kind of skipped over the gravel by the look of it. Here's the replay from on board, Ant.
Yeah, he turns in. The road is still damp, as we know in that centre, and it's just had a tank slapper moment, and bang, it goes in hard. And I'll be surprised and impressed if he can get that car back to the pits, because that front right has been the thing that's taken the brunt of that force.
And the time lost in the pits for the Porsche will be negated by the time lost for the Toyota under the slow zone.
Hirakawa just exiting the Mulsanne corner now, and he's just coming into a slow zone now. He's doing 80 kilometres an hour, while Vantor drove flat out through all of that section.
For the slow zone that's being triggered by a Porsche.
There's no way.
I don't
know where you're going there, but
it wasn't a serious suggestion, don't worry.
Yeah, they've had a steady race, haven't they, Isotta Fraschini, and the reliability's been there. Probably completely cursed it now, but this has been by far their most convincing race as part of the World Endurance Championship, and what a place to do it.
But he'd already gapped Schwarzman, who was right up with him at the first chicane. But for the moment, it's all going to be academic, because they're into the yellow flag zone. Everybody has to back off. But then we're going to see who's on their toes when they get out of that slow zone. The first one to pull the trigger. Schwarzman wants to jump Fuoco. Fuoco wants to jump De Vries. If Schwarzman's really good, he might get past both of them. It's going to be really interesting, the other side of this slow zone, isn't it?
I'd argue he's too close, though. So Schwarzman, if anything goes wrong with the 2 cars ahead, he's got no time to react.
This is a difficult corner, Arnage, because it's less than 80 kilometres an hour. So you can actually find a bit of performance gain if you're brave in the wetter part of the track through there. And here we go. We're
green.
Unleashed once again.
Slower car up the road. De Vries has to get past the traffic. He's got to defend from Fuoco. He's got to get the absolutely perfect line now on the run to the Porsche curves. 3rd, 4th, 5th as one. Toyota, Ferrari. De Vries stays ahead. Fuoco all over him like a rash then as they sweep right into the Porsche curves now. The Toyota has got away best of all and actually extended the margin just by another couple of lengths. Schwarzman has dropped off the back as well, so the gaps in both cases have stretched. 3rd to 4th and 4th to 5th. We've got another yellow, and that's why an Aston Martin is upside down. Safety car call, it's 27. It's the Heart of Racing entry. Daniel Mancinelli is upside down, and therefore safety car number 3 triggered, and the pit lane comes to life. Let's just listen then to the radio traffic as the driver gets out of the Aston.
Danny, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, stay in the car, wait for the marshals to get to you.
Oh, was there contact? There was. Was it?
No.
Was it contact? Or just go? Was he forced to go wide?
Just wide and got on the wet bit.
I say so.
No contact. That's a big hit, and then it kind of falls back on itself. Wow, a lot of energy had to be absorbed through that car.
What I kind of expected, how it ended up on its roof, is what I expected from where it hit. But I can't blame him entirely for that. There was no contact, but is this running on board with him? So yes, he's just on the wet stuff. Yeah. He's tried to do the right thing. He's a bit spooked by the hypercars around him, and he's seen one of them have a look. So he's tried to do the right thing by going wide and actually put himself, from being nice, he's put himself onto the wet stuff and out of the race.
Right.
Potential podium finish gone in an instant there with just a misjudgment. The track conditions.
Game over for the Heart of Racing Aston Martin. They've got this far, and with just over 6 hours and 20 minutes to go, it's time to pack up.
So the two Ferraris that box, they will drop behind a bunch of cars. Cadillac 2, Ferrari 51 and Porsche 5. So it's not great for track position to box.
Yes. Agree. Copy.
You must be becoming very good at the smooth safety car driving. So
I'm a professor, promoted.
Yeah, PhD.
Professor of the safety cars.
Professor Hirakawa.
Oh no, this is a
interesting
rare sight. Oh my goodness, this is supposed to be happening.
I'm not sure that was in the script.
It has happened, whether it was intended or not. Into the pit, it's cabs number 7, Graham, sorry.
Please be advised, we have a car stopped at MP1. We have a car stopped between 35 and 1. We'll be sending recovery vehicles to recover that car.
Peugeot in the gravel at Indianapolis, and to do that under the safety car is an absolute no-no as far as race control is concerned. It is Nico Müller at the wheel of it, the Swiss driver.
Well, Müller's an incredibly experienced driver, and I wonder what's happened here.
Riding on board with Nico Müller at a slow speed.
He saw the car in front of him twitch a bit, didn't he?
Or there's something on the inside of that circuit.
Oh, sorry guys, I cannot believe it. That came out of the blue.
Okay, Nico, don't worry. We look in front, we solve the issue.
Very curious, very strange. And Nico Müller is the big loser out of all of that as he gets going again. Or tries to get going again.
Yeah, you see the wet line just slightly off the racing line. Stone cold tyres.
Well, he's going again. He's going to try and get him back to the pit lane.
So Nico, as soon as you can, please report on potential damages. Strategy-wise, we need to stay out. We need to stay out to not be lapped.
Is that wheel going backwards?
It was, wasn't it?
There was tar smoke as well, wasn't there, as he came down towards Arnage?
I'm trying to work out how that's possible. The wheel going the other way round.
Is it just that it's really late for us and we're just a bit...
We're seeing things.
We're just, we're seeing
hallucinating.
Things. I did question just had a strong coffee there. Maybe that's what it is.
So now we get to stage 2 of what we thought was a never-ending safety car procedure, which is that the merging is now going on. Nico Müller has been on the radio to the team saying that the car feels okay, despite what we thought we saw, but he said it's feeling okay. So El Bamba leads the way. Number 3 Cadillac has now stopped on the Mulsanne straight. So just as we were getting ready to go racing once more, there's another car stranded. At the wheel of it, trying to get it going again, is Scott Dixon. So Scott Dixon has stopped. And it goes. Stopped again, hasn't it?
Team manager car 3, if your car cannot make it back into the pits, please go into any of the marshal's openings.
Renger van der Zande looking understandably concerned. Cadillac's 3rd and 4th last year, but certainly this car's in strife, and the team manager of this car has to go and see the race director at the end of this procedure.
He's in 7th gear. That's why it's stuck in 7th. No, so they don't have 7 gears, do they?
They
no,
do.
they must do.
They do.
And 3 is in the pit lane.
It's another reset, of course, another reset for them. Obviously, the race, it will be Sebastian Buemi and Kevin Estre when this all shakes out.
Now, whatever all this is being treated has come out from that yellow Cadillac. What do we think has been spilled? Because clearly it needs a lot of people to mop it all up.
Well, they were just, did you see the amount of oil they were tipping into it?
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Reminder, no overtaking before the line. No overtaking before the line. Cars may follow the safety car into the pits if they wish to do so.
Bamber accelerates away. There's the green flag at the timing line. That means we can go racing. You can't overtake those. You've heard the race director remind them all until they get to the line. Pit entry is open as well if anybody wants to pit. And so, at the end of lap 225, we go racing with the leaders being absolutely nose to tail. Earl Bamber just ahead of Fred McAvicky. Then it's Robert Schwarzman. Then Antonio Fuoco. Then Kobayashi. And then Kevin Estre. And then Sebastian Buemi. So the magnificent 7, the top 7 cars as one over the line. Cadillac leads Le Mans.
Fantastic stuff. 3 makes, 7 cars, 5 hours and 27 minutes to decide who is going to come away with the win for the greatest race of them all. At the moment, Earl Bamber and Cadillac are in the pound seats. When this track went back to full dry, we expected the Ferraris to come back into it. They had the pace yesterday, and boy oh boy, they've got pace again, and they're hunting impacts.
Fuoco on the inside line. Goes through, that puts the works car ahead of Schwarzman, and the next target is McAvicky. Earl Bamber trying to get away, but Fuoco, as ever, is very, very aggressive, very, very quick. He's moved himself past Schwarzman, but Robert wants the place back. Here he comes. He goes to the inside line as they accelerate down the Mulsanne once more. The 2 Ferraris overlapping. Yellow means it's Schwarzman on the inside. Red, Fuoco on the outside line. Here they come, toe-to-toe. Schwarzman is back through on the inside. And look at the Toyota having a dive as well. On the inside of the Ferrari comes number 7 of Kamui Kobayashi. He can't quite do it. Estre is right there behind them as well. Fantastic racing with 5 hours, 25 minutes to go.
2 seconds separate 7 cars.
And there, going wide, look, in number 7 Toyota Kobayashi. Fuoco back on the inside. It's 3 wide on the road to Indianapolis. Kobayashi gets squeezed out wide. There is no room at the end. He's got to back out of it. Schwarzman goes back ahead of Fuoco. Brave stuff round the outside. And it's still damp there.
Yeah, dry line round the outside, so...
and another car off through the gravel, sorry Peter, but exactly what we've seen from the Aston Martin, from the Porsche of Nasser. There was another car in the background careering through the gravel into the tyre stack.
I think it may have been the 311 Cadillac. That car has disappeared off the back of this train.
It's the instructor to settle down. We keep the position and attack the others.
It was Pipo Derani in 311, Graham, you were quite right. Derani crashing then at the approach to Indianapolis.
Hey, just give us a rundown what you feel out there, if anything's broken, straight, other than the bodywork, obviously.
Sebastian Buemi going ahead, look, so the Toyota goes ahead of Estre's Porsche. That puts Buemi into the top 6. Kevin Estre will not like that.
Yeah, we've not yet seen one of the Toyotas manage to get by a Ferrari. He's going to do it.
That's a funny old place to pass.
But look at the 2 leaders, absolutely nose to tail, and Fuoco fancying his chances of making a bid for the lead. Up the inside, diving to Indianapolis, he's going to go through. Brave stuff by Antonio Fuoco. Now Ferrari leads Le Mans once more.
3 drive-through penalties coming. 1 is a significant one. It's the number 5 car, Fred McAvicky. It was and still is. Slow zone procedures. So a 91 car, this was our, it still is by the way, our leader in LMGT3.
Under the Porsche gantry, the Porsche footbridge, and in comes the Toyota. There is a car ahead.
It's a Ferrari.
There's 2 cars ahead,
yeah,
so yeah, 4 Ferraris.
Yeah.
So your top 3 are all in, 50, 83, and then 8. 2 Ferraris and the Toyota. So that's going to put Kevin Estre into the lead, but by default, not pace.
Estre on lap 14 of his run, so he's probably got another 3 laps left.
Estre, he's in as well, and so is Kobayashi, so your top 5 all in on the same lap now.
Wow.
Well, this should cycle Earl Bamber back through to the lead. Boy, have they been trying. Here comes the Vector Sport Car. What a run they've had. They come in again. Patrick Pilet from the lead in LMP2. Head of interior pole competition, last year's winners, and EDEX Sports. Jon Venuta bringing in the 28 car. Those top 3 cars all on pit road right now. Trouble for the 59 McLaren. Stopped down at, I think, at Indianapolis.
Looks like it. That's between Oh, that's out of Arnage, isn't it?
It's out of Arnage, has pulled over, driver's left.
That's on public road, so there is a hard shoulder and a bit of a grassy verge.
And that car was very much in contention for a podium position. Gregoire Saucy it is.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, full course yellow.
This will be, I'm sure, it's obviously for the recovery in 59, but they will be taking the trouble, I'm sure, for a general clear-up around.
4 hours of racing to go. If they were this close 2 hours into a standard WEC race, we'd think, oh, this is a great lead battle.
On the outside.
Buemi, has he got enough
He's
heat?
got it, he's got it.
Oh, does he stay there? Can he avoid running wide? He can. So he moves up in a second ahead of Robert Schwartzman. And here now is the car that cycles round to the lead of the race. Patrick Pilet, the local driver in the number 10 Vector Sport car, ahead of Clement Novalak by inches. How many years have we had back-to-back winners in LMP2?
I can't
I
think we ever have.
I know.
I'm not sure we ever have. The only ones that may have done it is Alpine.
And there's change. Clement Novalak has gone by Patrick Pilet. We didn't see it happen, but there is a change for the lead. Last year's winners into Europol with 4 hours remaining in the race. And a mistake by Patrick Pilet into the Antonio Felix da Costa exit trench on the second part of the Indianapolis sequence. And Clement Novalak kept it clean and went through. Number 7 coming by, that is Kamui Kobayashi, passing Sebastian Buemi, and there's the race leader. They are closing on the Cadillac, and Kobayashi is taking up the running ahead of Buemi.
This is the smoky finish, I'm afraid, for the 83. Driver change was still going on, but smoking very heavily from the front end. We presume that, I think that is brakes, but whether or not they're actually, there was certainly there was a fire in the brake disc. On the left-hand side.
Number 83 Ferrari report now, it was a total electrical blackout. So everything went off.
Well, if that can happen to one Ferrari, it could happen to another or two more. And the hopes are pinned on the factory-badged cars, but the same issue could occur.
We look down at the tyre graphics there with the two GT cars fighting it out. Iron Dames on the left. 15-lap-old medium, so yeah, equal fight there with the 17-lap-old tyres on the Lexus. And look at the bonnet of the Lexus.
Yeah, I was going to say damage for Jack Hawksworth, so as he hits something, you can hardly see on that side at least. The camera can't see. It's a left hooker, isn't it, that car? And if it does rip off, it's going to do a lot of damage to the car, and he's got a lot of lap to do yet.
I just don't know how he can see where he's going. Well, it was a fair fight until he was blinded by his bonnet.
It's a left hooker, isn't it? So hopefully it's not quite as bad on that side, but he comes now down towards the chicane. So the Iron Dames Lamborghini gets away.
Oh, look, this is where the bonnet just detaches itself, so there wasn't any contact. It just popped up. And there it was, yeah. No.
Now, in the distance there in the background, you can see the fight for third in LMP2. Vladislav Lomko for Inter-Europol competition, the winning squad from last year ahead of Cool Racing's Malte Jakobsen. And there's nothing to choose, really, between those two. It was 0.299 of a second at the last timing point. There could be a change coming up here for third in class. Vladislav Lomko just being able to hang on to the place. Malte Jakobsen, the very highly regarded Malte Jakobsen, he's right there behind him as he goes on the attack. They go over the timing line now towards turn 1. Jakobsen, who's won the LMP3 class in the European Le Mans Series, Peugeot development driver, closing up onto the tail of Lomko. To remember, it's the same car and engine, so it's going to be down to the real bravery of Malte Jakobsen. He's in the wheel tracks, gets around, gets the toe down towards that first chicane. Lomko goes defensive, covers off the inside line. Jakobsen darts to the outside at the last moment. Can he drive all the way around the outside? No, he gets level and then has to think better of it, unless he can get the undercut coming out of the chicane.
This is where Jakobsen was pretty quick through Tête Rouge last time around, but I think he's a little bit further back possibly, but again a good exit though, so he's doing something right in Tête Rouge, and he is starting to get closer and closer to the Inter-Europol car. Stays to the outside this time, and is he at the last moment going to duck to the inside? Very different scenario to last time around. He's flashing him and go duck to the inside. Oh, he's got it covered anyway, but going to have to rethink this one.
In the meantime, here you've got the Richard Leach, Sean Galal battle for the class lead in LMGT3. Porsche around the outside in replay, and Sean Galal, another former single-seater racer, in the end has to give way. What Richard Leach doesn't know about driving Porsches isn't worth knowing, and it puts the Manthey EMA entry into the class lead.
Significant rain from Indianapolis to the pit lane.
Okay, so what do you want me to do?
You advise us. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. If it's already too bad, we box this lap. Otherwise, we wait the next one.
In comes number 8. So Brendan Hartley from second place for the pit road. And also Ferrari number 50 comes into the pit lane. We understand there's a driver change due as well there to relieve Miguel Molina. There is the Ferrari, of course, ahead of the Toyota as he has been for that stint, so no change there, of course.
This resets the field. 2 hours and 6 minutes. Basically, we've got a Grand Prix to run, and everybody is in for wet weather tyres, and they will all take fuel. So that will reset the whole field. Our top dozen cars who were previously in the same sector of the track.
They can't get the gun on, car 8.
Come on!
Oh, finally they're there, but big time lost, so...
The Ferrari cannot shut the door. Vantor is in, leaders in the pits. And the 50 car will have to come in. You can't drive around with the door flapping.
So Vantor stays behind the wheel, but he goes on to the correct tyres, if you like. 50 Ferrari battles on with the flapping door.
It's the wrong door. It's not the driver's door. It's one of the engineers has either changed the drinks bottle or something else and not closed the door from the outside.
Brendan Hartley's had a spin at Mulsanne corner, so the second place car goes around. He reverses out of harm's way, but let's see how many places, if any, are lost before he's got going again. Waits for a gap in the traffic, tries to get the car in the right direction. He's not moving yet.
No, he's looking at the marshals. He's looking for a sign from the marshals. He can't see what's coming down the straight.
Through the gravel, because he's got no lock on the car. So Brendan Hartley rally crossing his way back onto the circuit, and that's a very concerned Sebastian Buemi now. Another one maybe for the race control building.
Well, there was contact and somebody went round. Anthony, was that Brendan being ambitious?
Let's have a look from this shot.
Oh, it wasn't Brendan being ambitious, was it?
Hold on, hold on. Cause of contact, car 51.
Yep.
Team manager car 50, team manager car 50, your car has the right-hand side door open.
So rain is coming, we need to keep this Toyota behind, the car 50 in front of us have an issue with the door of the car, so we need to keep this Toyota 7 behind us.
And the way that Lopez is going suggests that Pierre Guidi is going to have to work very, very hard indeed to fend him off. That Toyota looking very quick indeed up the inside into the Dunlop chicane. They lean on each other. The Ferrari just about makes the corner. Toyota tries to get the undercut, can't do it. That could have ended a lot worse than that. It's still the Ferrari ahead, and now they're hunting for traction as well as both desperately trying to be in second place.
Make sure you get this braking zone correct, Jose, and he is in front and gets the job done into that corner.
And that's
brilliant
great
stuff.
Team manager car 50, team manager car 50. If your driver cannot close the door, bring the car in to repair. It's a safety element. Team manager car 50. If the driver cannot close the door, bring the car in. It's a safety element.
So Nicholas Nielsen, the race leader, being called to the pit lane. They've got to sort out that door, and they need to then somehow create that pit stop into damage limitation so they can try and exploit it in some way.
Hey, can you try to close the door? Can you try to close the door? Otherwise, we have to pit.
I cannot, mate. Give me one more lap. I try, but I honestly cannot.
Okay, let's try again. Next straight.
He's trying.
And I cannot. I tried to pull. I tried to push. I tried everything. I think. Yeah, the flick is open. I cannot reach it.
So does he come in this time to get it closed? Let's see. Yes, he's in this time.
Leader is in.
Just as he got the black and orange flag.
Yeah. No word yet about an investigation of contact between 51 and 8 that caused the number 8 car to spin. So that's what it was. It hadn't quite, the latch to catch the door had not quite slid back out, and it didn't close. Downside, lost the lead down to 5th. Upside, has more fuel than anyone else. And that might make no difference whatsoever, but it's something on which to build a campaign.
We can do this. You have mega pace in the wet, you can do this.
Yeah, mate, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Just lead me to it. Just give me necessary information and nothing else.
Will do.
Cool Racing into your pole. This might be for the win. 37 ahead of 34. Currently 22 United leads. So Toyota lead in Hypercar. United Autosport lead in LMP2. And Vladislav Lomko moves up to 4th place in LMP2. It is Richard Leeds from Anti-EMA in a Porsche that leads in LMGT3. 91 minutes to go here at Le Mans.
I can't see anything without the wiper blade.
Yeah, he's lost his wiper blade, the number 2 Cadillac, so no effective windscreen wiper. And they are putting a new blade on that wiper arm. That should hopefully help things. It's going to delay this for a few seconds.
But anybody who's changed their wiper blades at home knows that it takes about 5 minutes, and you don't do it with gloves on either.
No,
so that's a quick job.
Information to the pit lane, information to the pit lane. Car 51 has 5 seconds added to the next pit stop for a contact with car 8 at MP20.
Ferrari in front is 30 seconds ahead. 30 seconds ahead. They still need to box. They still need to box.
Yeah, but it's a race. Are they the leader?
The Ferrari in front is in position 1. We are currently P2, but we are offsetted in strategy.
So 50 needs to stop earlier than the rest of the field, but can the rest of the field in Hypercar make it on just one stop? I don't know. A spin for Jose Maria Lopez.
Nicholas Nielsen here, he's into his 13th lap of this stint. So actually, if he finishes this lap and he does another 13 laps on his last stint, he might only have to do one more stop.
Wow.
Wow, sir.
He's going to come in this lap. 2% left. That's not enough to, it's barely enough to make the pit lane, but wow, what a job. Is that the race-defining stint from Nicholas Nielsen? 37 is off sideways, and that is Cool Racing's Malte Jakobsen.
Struggling to get the car going. 5 seconds, by the way, added to the next pit stop for car 34. That could cost them 2nd place in this motor race in LMP2.
Oh no, that's Clement Novalak taking advantage and going off. Fuel but no tyres for Ferrari. They are gambling on track position.
7 car coming through to take the lead. Wow. So now, what is the gap going to be? And is this going to be close enough, Rob Bell, for Nick Nielsen to get this car home?
They think that they've got this one.
I think
this is their last stop, and we know the 7 car has to stop.
Either way, there is 51, there is 50. Nick Nielsen is closing.
Well, Nick Nielsen has been told they will let him by. That's what he said. Because the one thing the Ferrari cannot afford to do
is slow Nick Nielsen down
and waste fuel doing it.
Correct.
You stay in the car, you stay in the car.
The connection here should be slightly shorter, remember. It's 42 minutes as opposed to 50 minutes for the required energy. They'll have been doing the sums as well, absolutely for sure. Tear off comes for the number 7 car 2, and here comes the 51. So Nick Nielsen will go through now into the lead of this race. Here comes Clement Novalak.
So it came out of the pits, Jose Maria Lopez. Nobody's taken tyres, have they? They can't spare the time. They're just going to have to get on with it.
Trouble for the GR Racing car, not at this stage of the race. Not anybody.
They're in 6th position. This is Daniel Serra. Has he just spun in the S's? Looks like it. Car looks like it's got all its wheels still attached and air in the tyres.
So there's a problem. There's a problem with this car. He's stopped.
Was that in the Dunlop curve? It was. Yeah, turn 2, Dunlop curve. Oh, he hasn't just come out of the pit lane, he has just come out of the pit lane. Control Alt Delete, on and off, on and off, on and off.
Okay, Jose, we are currently P2, Ferrari 50 ahead. We don't think they're gonna box. We will be for position 2, and we don't want to take any risk. We want to bring P2 home. Gap ahead, 32. Gap ahead, 32.
That's realistic.
That may be the most extraordinary thing I've heard from a factory team in all my time here.
Well, from Toyota especially, just you know, accepting the inevitable.
The gap is 30 seconds. Gap is 30 seconds, so we can lose 5 seconds a lap and still be safe.
Hey, mate, don't worry. I had traffic. Don't worry, it's okay.
Sounds fully in control, doesn't he, does Nick Nielsen?
This kid, how can you be so calm? Well, he's on a kilojoules target. It's the new language, everybody. But nevertheless, Nick Nielsen is driving the car as if he's got no fuel cares in the world. Enough energy just about to make it through. Problem for the 33 DK Engineering car. 2.5 minutes on the clock after 24 hours of racing. And I was talking at lunchtime with one of our French commentary colleagues, and he was saying, who do you think's going to win? I went, you're joking. One of any 9 cars, and there's no possible way you could pick a favourite out of it other than just sort of brand loyalty, because this race has thrown so much at us over the last 24 hours that weather, safety cars, slow zones, traffic, incidents, mechanical failure, anything could have made a difference. In the end, it was none of those. It was dealing with the cards as they came to the 50 Ferrari and pulling off a magnificent strategic coup, somehow eking out the fuel to get it through without a forced splash at the end. Meanwhile, let's just say thank you again to all the men and women in orange who have worked so tirelessly in appalling weather to keep this race going, to our race director, to all the officials, and to all the teams and the rest of the organisation who have produced such a stunning race here. And for Nicholas Nielsen, for Miguel Molina, and for Antonio Fuoco, off the old road circuit and into the Porsche curves for the very final time. The checkered flag awaits. 24 hours of Le Mans is up. It is 4:01 and 45 seconds, Central European summertime. Sunday, Le Mans 2024 is over. And Ferrari number 50 is going to come home and take victory a year after their teammates claimed victory in the hypercar, and now they dare believe it's the final chicane. Nicholas Nielsen has been rock solid, absolutely ironclad confidence. Miguel Molina, Antonio Fuoco in floods. Ferrari wins Le Mans. Second place across the line, Jose Maria Lopez, Toyota Gazoo Racing. And he hangs on to second, but what about Alessandro Pierguidi, the 51 Ferrari and the number 6 Porsche, 1.1 seconds apart, and Pierguidi hangs on to it and does not exceed track limits. A crucial podium for Ferrari and for the 51 crew.
That was one hell of a motor race.
Thank you so much.
Life-changing. We said it earlier, it's life-changing.
I love you guys. Honestly, I fucking love you.
Last time they won, I think it was Philippe Albuquerque who did so. And in the 22 lineup, it is Bijay Garg and Nolan Siegel who share victory. And Nolan Siegel, just 19 years of age. There's the Manthey EMA Porsche, car number 91. Richard Leitz brings it to the line to claim another win for him and for Porsche. And that is a huge result for the 91 crew. Manthey EMA have been the second of the Manthey teams all season long, but for Yasser Shaheen, Maurice Schuring, another 19-year-old, and Richard Leitz, their first Le Mans win. What a thing.
Amazing. And the final class winner crosses the line. It's the 183 AF Corsa Oreca in LMP2 Pro-Am. 2 class wins for a Motor Ferrari squad. But the one that matters without a shadow of a doubt is the overall win for the second consecutive year. They did it, Anthony Davidson, in some style. Second, by the way, in LMP2, into Europol, winners last year. Second this time, and Edex Sport complete that podium.
The conditions have been pretty extreme, and as a result, it has just yielded an astonishing race.
By the way, you know, we always claim that it's all about this race. Everyone, you only want to win as a manufacturer. This is what it's all about. I was actually quite surprised by the team's outlook of the championship. And for me, it shows that as a championship,
it's growing.
It's getting more and more weight. This moment, guys, when you meet your teammates after victory, it's for drivers, it's such a... It's often a solemn experience because you do it alone, but in sports cars you've got 2 other drivers with you to share this moment, and you've lived it all together, and you often don't see all 3 drivers all together for the whole 24 hours until the end of the race. It's a feeling you can't describe. It's the hardest Le Mans I've ever seen.
Until about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, where they'll have to get up, get washed and scrubbed, and appear live on Italian breakfast TV from Le Mans with the trophy in the car and everything else. You know, there's the 88 car, 3rd place for Proton competition.
Didn't mention that, Mustang on the podium. What an astonishing turnaround it is for them. Absolutely fantastic stuff from the 88 squadron from Proton competition, and in fact, the second Mustang, 4th.
Yep. Well, look at this. Over 300,000 fans visiting Le Mans again this weekend. It was never this big. It was never this many people.
Ollie Jarvis.
Yeah. And Nolan, the taller and the younger of the 2, Nolan Siegel. And actually, he's almost as tall as Ollie Jarvis, and that takes some doing. United Autosports, the LMP2 winner. And as he said, AF Corsa, Francois Perodo and the crew winning in Pro-Am. People often say, what do you find to talk about for 24 hours? You're kidding me. How many cars finished? 46 24-hour stories, and that's before we even look at the ones that didn't make it all the way through. We never cover most of the action. We barely know half the stories.
Pretty certain, by the way, that we did not see the 20 car re-emerge. They did say they would try to do that. They did not. The art car did not cross the line.
No, the 77 Proton has. And all they wanted was that it would get to the line, same as Isotta Fraschini. And Isotta have hit their target. Their first Le Mans, they got it to the line. And the amount of data that they will have garnered from that hopefully will drive them on and help them increase the performance of that car.
Here they come, the fans who've been here through mainly rain and a little bit of shine get the reward that many are looking for to join this podium celebration. Pretty unique in four-wheel motorsport, at least, Ant.
You said it was going to be a new podium procedure, or
there's a brand new podium. Michelin matched Dunlop's total of 32 wins today.
Yeah, whoa! Who was that? Who came in from stage right? That's a glorious late arrival into the photo, and we're all piling in now. And finally, 46 cars classified as finishers from 62 starters.
I did predict that car 50 was going to win before the start of the race. Just saying.
I think I put it in my...
Well, Rob Bell had his money on Cadillac number 2, but they had a great race.
And what a great show they put on.
And the 83 car, which in the end didn't make it to the finish, that deserves a really big mention, because the yellow Ferrari, till it had that total electrical blackout, that looked the car perhaps most likely of all to keep bouncing back. Their bounce back ability was absolutely astonishing. Those three drivers could have, should have won Le Mans with a bit more luck on their side.
Before we get to the podium ceremonies, Kazuya Nakajima there getting involved in a sporting hug.
Yeah.
Mention for two names in particular. One, Jose Maria Lopez, coming in with no notice. What a performance from him. Was it perfect? He will concentrate, I'm sure, on the errors, but he shouldn't. It was magnificent. And Mike Conway, we wish you were here.
Nobody had the perfect race today,
Nobody.
so you know there's only so much you can beat yourself up for.
Well, in third place, a smart from Alessandro Pierguidi. Last year's winners are first out. LA, James Collado and Antonio Giovinazzi. There's Tonio in the centre. James Collado comes out third with their crew chief. Jose Maria Lopez, well, was expecting to be here in GT3 in Alexis. Turned out that he rejoined his old teammate Kaz Nakajima and replaced the injured Mike Conway.
Kamui Kobayashi.
Kamui Kobayashi, beg your pardon. Yes, his boss. And joined Nick de Vries. So Nick de Vries on the podium for the first time at Le Mans. And there are the winners. Antonio Fuoco follows out Miguel Molina, and the first man out, the last man across the line in the car, he held the anchor leg together. He was calm beyond measure for one so young. Niklas Nielsen.
There it is.
There it is. Ferrari win Le Mans for the second time in the hypercar era. Does it make them undefeatable? No, because they're going to have to start again from scratch in Sao Paulo. Does it make them happy? Yes, it does.
In World Championship terms as well, 4 different cars in 4 races now have won.
99 points. Our leaders are still the number 6 Porsche, Andre Lotter, Kevin Estre, Lawrence Van Tor. But Antonio Fuoco, Miguel Molina and Nick Nielsen with that 50-point haul now 9 points behind. And that's the magnificent difference. And now up to 6 from literally nowhere. Pierguidi, Giovinazzi and Collado, 48 points. They had 3 points before, or 8 points before this weekend started.
Look at the gap that has been closed by both Toyota and by Ferrari on Porsche in the Manufacturers' Championship, the one they want to win.
And that's why Jose Maria Lopez got that message from his team. It was all about that.
Yep. Don't bin it, we want the points. Hertz Team Jota lead the World Cup from Proton and AF Corsa.
AF Corsa taking a bit of a hit there with that DNF, I'm afraid.
I was going to say this race has lost none of its appeal. This race has never had more appeal.
This is the LMGT3 podium. Darren Leong, British GT champion last year.
Yeah, and Le Mans podium finisher
Sean Gelael and
Augusto Farfus.
Well.
Tip of the cap from Gusto. And the Ford Mustang on the podium in 3rd place for Proton competition. But for Olof Mantai's team, the small team that's carried Porsche's hopes in GT for so many years, Manthey EMA claim victory at Le Mans. Richie Leitz, well, he's been to Le Mans before, but the other 2 drivers are raw rookies.
Maurice Schuring, yes, and Yasser Shaheen.
Yeah.
Nicky Rader now in charge with the retirement of Olof Mantay, by the way. They should be pleased about that. And the 3 Proton competition drivers, Dennis Olsen, Mikkel Pettersson and Giorgio Roda.
19-year-old Maurice Schuring in the centre, Yasser Shaheen, and on the right-hand side, the veteran Richie Leitz. Manthey EMA claim victory at Le Mans. Whatever else they do in the rest of the season, and they are unlikely to be uncompetitive, this day will definitely live in their memories. Manthey EMA and Manthey Pure Racing tied 2 ahead of 31 WRT. Wow, that's as close as you like.
Fabulous stuff.
Maurice Turing, Richard Leeds, Yasser Shaheen, and then Alexander Malikin, Joel Sturm and Klaus Bachler. And behind them, Augusto Farfus, Darren Leung and Sean Gillel. Little bit of clear space to Owen Batar and Marco Sorensen, with Michel Gatting, Sarah Bovey behind them, and then Leslie Rivera, Francois Herriot and the rest. And if you're wondering why those are two car lineups, or two driver pairings that are featured in the top of the points table in places, it's because not each of the cars has had the same drivers in for all races.
LMP2, it's EDEC Sport that take the third step on the podium. So Paul Lafargue, Richard de Juris and Jean Van Utet.
Yeah, he's up with his hand in the air. Second place for last year's winning team. There's Kuba Gamaziak. Last year he won, this year second. Can't argue with that for Le Mans appearance record.
Kuba Shpikovsky.
Yeah, the other Kuba. Kuba Shpikovsky, absolutely right.
Clever Novalak.
Yeah, almost entirely different lineup. The only common feature in the 34 car is Kuba. Clement Novalak and Vladislav Lomko, and our winners, two rookies and a veteran.
I think that's Jim Maguire coming out with the team, new co-owner of United Autosports.
Ollie Jarvis, BJ Garg and Nolan Siegel.
And it's been an epic motor racing event, this one. It really has. I've always said, coming into this race, at the best of times, that it's a challenge first, then a motor race.
Yeah.
I think it was very much that this time around.
An ordeal, I think it was this time. I mean, we're watching your transition through this race, and you've said it so many times, and just how tough a race this was to finish, let alone to win.
I think I said it way earlier in the race when I was watching the rain coming down and they're on their cold slicks.
Harry Tinknell, Julian Andlauer and Neil Janney from Proton Competition, they're going to be disappointed. It didn't go the way they hoped it would go.
Yeah, massively disappointed, especially after the promise that they showed at the last race in Spa. In that car, it had true speed. But yeah, it wasn't to be this race. And Jensen Button there. Great to see him at Jota, a regular of the World Endurance Championship with that team. It's not just a one-off this year for him at Le Mans. And with his car crew, a car 38, Ollie Rasmussen and Phil Hansen. Phil Hansen actually drove a blinder, I thought.
And by the way, first appearance on a podium at Le Mans for Jensen Button, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would think so.
Did he not achieve that in their SMP
I don't think they finished in the top three, not in LMP1.
But the winners in the Hypercar Teams World Cup is the extraordinary story that is the number 12 from Hertz Team Jota.
Oh, the ups and downs that they've had this weekend.
And without question, the Jota mechanics must be the most exhausted humans in the Western Hemisphere.
That is the overall point standings. The number 12 car leads the Hypercar World Cup, the FIA World Cup, 128 points from Proton Competition's 99. Then the AF Corsa car that Neil scored today, and the 38 car that got some decent points on the board. One more podium to come.
Yep. Pro-Am LMP2. Well, out in third place come DKR Engineering, their first entry in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. They've been champions, multiple champions in the Michelin Le Mans Cup, racing successfully in the European Le Mans Series, and here now on the podium at Le Mans in LMP2.
So LMP2 Pro-Am, Alexander Matchell, Lawrence Herr and Rennie Bender. It is Louis Delatraz with PJ Hyatt. And then the winners, Nico Veroni there, Francois Perrodo and Ben Barnicoat for AF Corsa.
Alex Quinn, the third driver of the AO by TF car. PJ Hyatt doing himself in some aerial winners. Nico Veroni, Ben Barnicoat, And somewhere in there is Francois Perrodo. Second consecutive Le Mans win for Nico Veroni, the tall figure on the left there. Last year with Ben Keating and Nicky Katzberg, they won in GTE AM. And that is our final podium for Le Mans 2024. So many stories to be told. So many more to be written in the rest of the series. So 4 races down, 4 races to go. And lots more stories to be written as we finish the World Endurance Championship in November. Francois Perrodo, Ben Barnicoat, Nico Veroni are Pro-Am LMP2 winners. Congratulations indeed to them. And thank you on behalf of everybody here in the ACO TV crew for joining us. Here is the official classification of the Le Mans 24 Hours. The 50 Ferrari and the 51 Ferrari sandwiched an under 7 Toyota in the overall podium. United Autosports, Inter Europol and EDEC in LMP2. AF Corsa, AO by TF and DKR in Pro-Am. And it's Manthey EMA, Team WRT and Proton, who are the top 3 in LMGT3. On behalf of everybody here, for Olivier, our director, and for the entire TV crew, I'm just delighted as ever to be part of this huge operation. For everybody who you've heard and seen on air, finally, for the rest of the season, we'll be back with you. Graham Goodwin, Anthony Davidson, me, Martin Haven, from Le Mans 2024. Au revoir and goodbye.